Chapter 21, Qingyan Peak Disciple Lin Qingzi, against Kangshan Peak Disciple Wu Hao. Shaoju Peak Disciple Shengguan Yan, against Shuiyan Peak Disciple Zhao Sanchen. Ellipsis. The Mount Shu Disciple Convention continued with the results of the disciples' lottery draws being announced. Lu Chengsheng's eldest disciple's opponent turned out to be a disciple of an elder from Kangshan Peak. Lian, go draw your lot as well. Lu Chengsheng wanted his young disciple to also gain some battle experience. Okay, Lian excitedly went up to draw her lot. Little girl, you're also participating in the competition. The elder from the nascent soul realm responsible for the lottery draw was incredulous when he saw a girl, only 10 years old, coming up to draw a lot. He thought Lu Chengsheng had merely brought his young disciple to see the world. He never expected Lu Chengsheng would actually let the girl compete. I am a newly admitted disciple of Qingyan Peak, so of course, I may participate. Lian, brimming with confidence, reached into the box and pulled out a slip of paper, unafraid of the imposing Mount Shu Elder. Number 137, your opponent is disciple Yang Ren from Ziyu Peak. Yang Ren has been at the gates for 8 years by now and is rumored to have reached the first layer of the Golden Core realm. Yang Ren, you're really lucky. Your opponent turns out to be a little girl. Don't hit too hard. Qingyan Peak's elder is already in the Dao Palace realm. Yang Ren's master is Elder Zhao from Ziyu Peak, and he's in the Dao Palace realm too, sure. Isn't scared of Qingyan Peak's elder Lu. Many Mount Shu disciples whispered among themselves at the scene, considering it all a farce. A 10-year-old girl facing an 8-year veteran prodigy disciple of Mount Shu, the outcome was predictable, boring. Disciple Yang Ren from Ziyu Peak found it dull. Li Changye, along with envoys from the 5 major righteous Dao sects and various elders of Mount Shu, were observing the performances of the disciples from above. In this disciple convention, the ultimate victor is 9 times out of 10 going to be the eldest senior brother's disciple, Shao Shangdao, who possesses the once-in-a millennium spirit sword. Physique. Grand Master Talon, our Mount Shu's 7th generation sect leader, also had the spirit sword. Physique. With less than a century of cultivation, he reached the Dao Palace realm and later achieved the pinnacle, arriving at the supreme state of having no sword in hand but a sword in heart. It remains to be seen whether Shao Shangdao can reach the heights of Grand Master Talon. Shao Shangdao's spirit sword physique is indeed rare, but it still can't compare to the eldest senior brother's eternal wilderness body. Even the sect leader believes that the eldest senior brother's physique far surpasses that of most special physiques. Mount Shu elders were also whispering among themselves before the start of the disciples' sparring sessions. The vast majority of Mount Shu elders believed that the eldest senior brother's disciple Shao Shangdao would be the eventual winner. It has begun. The Mount Shu Disciple Convention quickly got underway, with disciples beginning their sparring. Lu Chengsheng's only concern was for his 2 disciples. His eldest disciple, Lin Qingzi's opponent from Kangshan Peak, was probably at the 5th layer of the Qi transformation realm. Please instruct. Lin Qingzi unsheathed his green abyss sword. Of course. Today, you shall witness our Kangshan Peak's Flying Eagle 13 swords. The Kangshan Peak disciple also drew his longsword. We finally get to see Elder Lu's disciple in action. Quite a few Mount Shu elders focused on the battle between Lin Qingzi and the disciple from Kangshan Peak. Among the inner sect disciples, Lin Qingzi had the most mediocre talent. When Lu Chengsheng first took him as a disciple, it surprised many Mount Shu elders. 3 years later, they all wanted to know what sort of abilities the disciple taken in by Lu Chengsheng really had. Elder Lu, although your cultivation is higher than mine, my disciple has been diligently practicing and has now reached the 5th level of the Qi transformation realm. He has also mastered the 7th stance of the Flying Eagle 13 swords. This time, your disciple is in for a tough challenge. The sect elder from Kangshan Peak was at the 7th layer of the nascent soul realm, which didn't compare to Lu Chengsheng, who had stepped into the Dao Palace realm, but he was full of confidence in his own disciple. His cultivation might not match Lu Chengsheng's, but when it came to a disciple's talent, how could it be possible that his disciple was inferior to Lin Qingzi, who had mediocre aptitude? What you said is true. Lu Chengsheng did not argue. Below, Lin Qingzi and the disciple from Kangshan Peak had already started clashing. Flying Eagle 13 swords. First stance, Eagle strike the heavens. The disciple from Kangshan Peak initiated the attack, and his sword chi crisscrossed mightily. Across the sky, Lin Qingzi operated the Toxuan skills, holding his breath and concentrating his spirit. Lu Changsheng had required him to suppress his strength by a major realm, so Lin Qingzi didn't dare to be careless. As the disciple from Kangshan Peak advanced, Lin Qingzi countered with the soaring cloud sword technique, using his profound strength to neutralize the opponent's onslaught. It appeared as though the disciple from Kangshan Peak was suppressing Lin Qingzi, yet every move and stance were seen through by Lin Qingzi with crystal clarity. He parried each move, shattering the incoming sword chi. How is this possible? The disciple from Kangshan Peak became increasingly frantic as he fought. He had heard that this opponent had lackluster talent, with both root bone and comprehension at the bottom level, and yet he couldn't defeat him. As Lin Qingzi crossed swords with his opponent, he felt the pressure exerted by the disciple from Kangshan Peak was far less than that from his junior sister. His junior sister was endowed with the martial king divine physique, a cultivation higher than Lin Qingzi's. Sometimes she would strike out too heavy-handedly, and Lin Qingzi could even be injured by her. Compared to his junior sister, the attacks from the disciple of Kangshan Peak were somewhat feeble and ineffective, so Lin Qingzi only paid attention to his opponent's techniques. When the disciple from Kangshan Peak had exhausted the seventh stance of the Flying Eagle 13 swords, Lin Qingzi saw that his opponent had no new moves left, and with a slight exertion of force, he knocked away the other's longsword. With a clang, the longsword flew from the hands of the disciple from Kangshan Peak, who was left standing there, dumbfounded. He had actually been defeated by a Shu Mountain disciple with inferior aptitude, who 3 years ago was only at the first level of the Foundation Establishment realm. All the elders of Mount Shu watching this bout were rendered speechless. Lin Qingzi seemed to win easily, showing no signs of having exerted his full strength. Elder Lu, what exactly is the cultivation level of this disciple of yours? If he was able to defeat Wu Hao of the 5th layer of the Qi transformation realm, his cultivation must be at least at the 6th layer of the Qi transformation realm. In 3 years, to raise a mediocre disciple from the 1st layer of the Foundation Establishment realm to the 6th layer of the Qi transformation realm, Elder Lu's ability to teach disciples is simply too strong. I am truly ashamed. After these elders came to their senses, they could not help but admire Lu Changsheng. Who would have thought that a disciple from Mount Shu with mediocre talent could have such astonishing progress in cultivation? In Lu Changsheng's heart, there wasn't a hint of disturbance. This was still the result of Lu Changsheng asking Lin Qingzi to go easy. Otherwise, with Lin Qingzi's current cultivation at the Golden Core realm, he could have defeated his opponent with a single move. Elder Lu's disciple is quite remarkable. Li Chengye also expressed genuine admiration. Li Chengye's disciple, Xiao Shangdao, seeing his master praising someone else's disciple, the same person who had once been his chess attendant, his eyes couldn't help but flash with a hint of envy. After all, he was the illustrious prince of the Liang kingdom. Is Elder Lu's newly accepted little disciple also going to step forward for a sparring match? Her opponent is Yang Ren, a disciple from Ziyu Peak, at the 1st layer of the Golden Core realm, much stronger than Wu Hao from Kangshan Peak. Elder Lu, are you sure you want to let a little girl of about 10 years old fight a disciple at the 1st layer of the Golden Core realm? The other elders of Mount Shu cast odd looks toward Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng replied calmly and composedly, my little disciple likes to play around. If I don't let her participate, she is likely to demolish my cave dwelling. Chapter 22. Little junior sister, you are still young with limited cultivation. Go back to Qingyan Peak to practice, and maybe in 10 or 8 years, you'll be able to defeat me. Yang Ren, a disciple of Ziyu Peak, came to the competition stage. His opponent was Qingyan Peak's youngest disciple, the 10-year-old Lian. Defeating such an opponent would not only fail to make a name across Mount Shu but might even seem like an easy, unearned victory. HMPH, don't underestimate me. Lian placed her hands on her hips, clearly unconvinced. Yang Ren helplessly said, all right, I'll let you have 3 moves. Oh really? Then take this punch from me. Lian's eyes swiveled as she swung her little fist. Come on then. Yang Ren was utterly unconcerned. A 10-year-old girl, how advanced could her cultivation be? Let alone giving her 3 moves, even if he allowed her 30 moves, what would that change? Since Qingyan Peak's Lu Changsheng and Ziyu Peak's Zhao Wuyan were both Dao Palace realm elders of Mount Shu, their disciples, competition drew considerable attention from other Mount Shu elders. Elder Lu, this is getting out of hand. Ziyu Peak's elder Zhao Wuyan also felt this friendly match was somewhat inglorious. Is it? Lu Changsheng still had a calm and composed demeanor. Ziyu Peak's elder Zhao Wuyan, who had reached the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, was long famous, and his disciple, a genius who achieved the 1st level of the Golden Core realm. After only 8 years of practice, letting a little girl have 3 moves wasn't surprising. Disciple, you may use the cultivation of the 1st level of the Golden Core realm. Lu Changsheng transmitted his voice to Lian. Although Lu Changsheng had requested his 2 disciples to only use the strength of the 7th or 8th layer of the Qi transformation realm before the disciples' conference, considering that the opponent was a disciple of Mount Shu from the Golden Core realm, allowing his own disciple to employ the same level of cultivation wasn't too much, was it? Disciple understands. Lian, who had her cultivation severely restricted to an entire realm lower, became even more excited when Lu Changsheng allowed her to lift some of the limits. Ha! Lian let out a light shout, took a lunge forward, and in the next instant appeared in front of Yang Ren, her little fist carrying Gang Qi as it smashed outward, shaking the heavens. Yang Ren felt the power of the punch and immediately sensed something was amiss, but it was already too late. The next moment, Lian's little fist made contact with Yang Ren's chest. Boom! That punch contained the strength of myriad aspects. Yang Ren felt as though he was struck by tens of thousands of rampaging elephants, even the spiritual energy in his body could not circulate in time, and he was sent flying by Lian's fist. Bang! Yang Ren fell hundreds of meters away, like a kite that had lost its string. Sputter! Yang Ren spat out a mouthful of blood, on the verge of unconsciousness. The Mount Shu disciples and elders on site were all engulfed in stunned silence. A genius disciple of the Golden Core realm, severely injured by a punch from a little girl around 10 years old, the world had gone mad. Ziyu Peak's elder Zhao waved his sleeve, instantly appearing beside his disciple Yang Ren, and fed him a healing medicine before using his divine sense to check for life-threatening injuries. It was only after discovering none that he finally breathed a sigh of relief. But Yang Ren had almost all his ribs broken and needed elder Zhao's power for healing. It would take a good while to recover, and even Zhao Wuyan, who was at the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, was shaken. Just one punch, just one single punch, and his genius disciple had been reduced to such a state by a mysterious little girl. Zhao Wuyan did not blame his own disciple but marveled at the monstrous talent of the other. Elder Lu, it's not that I, Zhao Wuyan, have failed in instruction, but rather that your disciple is truly a monstrosity. Indeed, indeed. Elder Zhao took 8 years to guide a disciple from the Qi transformation realm to the Golden Core realm, which was already commendable. Truly, it is Elder Lu's disciple who possesses an excessively grotesque talent, so young, yet able to injure a Golden Core realm disciple with a single punch. Tisk tisk tisk. Such a talent is simply unparalleled in the world. Congratulations to Elder Lu for having such an exceptional disciple. Many elders of Mount Shu chimed in with their agreement. In doing so, they not only saved face for Elder Zhao but also praised Elder Lu's disciple. Is this the Huang tribe girl who was hunted by the demon race? There must be secrets yet to be discovered about her. No wonder your Mount Shu insists on protecting her. Her future achievements are boundless. Elders from the other 5 orthodox sects covertly sent messages, speaking to Li Changye. This girl's physique is extremely suited for the martial path, and our martial alliance possesses many body refinement techniques. She should join our martial alliance. Our leader would be very happy to take her as a disciple. Elder Yi of the Martial Alliance, upon seeing Lian, who possessed the Martial King Divine physique, was thrilled. The Martial Alliance sought enlightenment through martial prowess, focusing on the tough cultivation of the body, indubitably the most suitable for the overbearing special physique that is the Martial King Divine physique. She has already been accepted into Mount Shu and has become our disciple. You of the Martial Alliance should give up the idea. Unless one day, the leader of the Martial Alliance can defeat the sect leader of Mount Shu. Li Changye was protective and uncompromising. Upon hearing the revered name of Taiyuan, the true person of Mount Shu, Elder Yi involuntarily shuddered. Although the leader of the Martial Alliance possessed an extremely domineering special physique and could shatter a great mountain with a single punch, at the past 6 Dao conferences, he was still defeated by Taiyuan, the true person of Mount Shu. Every sect leader of Mount Shu was an outstanding figure, and talents emerged in droves, which is why Mount Shu stood as the leader among the 6 orthodox sects of Sha state. With Lian having joined Mount Shu and becoming a disciple, trying to woo her away from Mount Shu was exceedingly difficult. Although this girl's physique is unique and her cultivation speed is extraordinarily rapid, when I saw her 3 years ago, she was but at the 5th level of the Qi transformation realm. Only 3 years have passed, yet she now possesses the strength of the Golden Core realm. Her speedy cultivation must also be related to her master, Lu Changsheng. Sha Ningxie of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion pondered to herself and realized the crux of the issue. Even if Lian were monstrously talented, to condense a golden core in 3 years was beyond astounding. In Sha Ningxue's memory, only she cultivated at such a rapid pace. After all, she reached the Dao Palace realm at the age of 20. Sha Ningxie looked towards Lu Changsheng, whose cultivation seemed somewhat elusive and difficult to discern. Master, how did I perform? I didn't kill him, did I? Lian returned to Lu Changsheng's side, clinging to his arm, and sought credit for her performance. The surrounding elders and disciples of Mount Shu looked at Lian as if seeing a beast. She was absolutely the most monstrous presence among the new generation of Mount Shu disciples. Even the disciple of the eldest brother who possessed the spirit sword physique, Xiao Shangdao, seemed somewhat overshadowed in Lian's presence. According to the Mount Shu's chronicle, records of special physiques through the ages, the spirit sword physique had manifested 10 times over the past several 100,000 years. While Lian's martial king divine physique had only one record, which also emerged in Huang State. You did very well, Lu Changsheng praised succinctly. His little disciple had only used the force of the first layer of the Golden Core realm. The reason behind such a shocking display was because Yang Ren of Ziyu Peak was too complacent, daring to face her without any defenses, and thus suffered a punch from the martial king divine physique for nothing. If Lian had used the force of the 7th layer of the Golden Core realm, perhaps Yang Ren might have been killed by a single punch, and not even a Deluo Golden Immortal could have saved him. Who's my next opponent? Lian waved her little fists excitedly, looking incredibly adorable. However, the Mount Shu disciples panicked, hastily checking their own numbers. It's me, the one with number 140, who had overcome the disciple with number 139, turned pale. He would be the next to face Lian, denoted as number 137. Chapter 23. Junior sister, spare me. Master, your disciple is truly no match and can only forfeit. The Mount Shu disciples who sparred with Lian grumbled without end. The martial king divine physique was too domineering. At the mere age of 10, Lian had defeated dozens of Mount Shu disciples, causing an uproar throughout Mount Shu. The Mount Shu disciple convention was in full swing, and as disciples were continuously eliminated, eventually only 8 remained. This included Lin Qingzi, Lian, Xiao Shangdao, and others. Among the new disciples Mount Shu has recruited in the past 10 years, 2 of Elder Lu's disciples have made it to the top 8. Elder Lu is truly a great master. The futures of Elder Lu's 2 disciples are boundless. They might one day become the mainstays of our Mount Shu. It's really enviable. I wonder how Elder Lu's 2 disciples will fare when pitted against the possessor of the spirit sword physique, Xiao Shangdao. The Mount Shu elders, having seen the final 8 disciples, including 2 of Lu Changsheng's disciples among them, could not help but express their admiration. Next up, Qingyan Peak's disciple Lin Qingzi will face Bimun Peak's disciple Chen Yao. On the martial arts platform, 2 teenagers, a boy and a girl, each with a longsword on their backs, stood their ground, swords ready as unseen waves of energy whirled and clashed. Bimun Peak, isn't that the dwelling of a supreme elder? Aren't the supreme elders in seclusion? How could they recruit disciples? It's said that one of the supreme elders had an epiphany, emerged from seclusion 9 years ago, and brought a young girl back to Mount Shu when he returned. This girl was later taken as a disciple by this supreme elder. Being one of the new disciples Mount Shu has acquired within the last 10 years, she naturally qualifies to participate in this Mount Shu disciple convention. Since she's been taken in by a supreme elder, there must be something special about her. Her entrance into the final 8 Mount Shu disciples speaks to her talent. Some Mount Shu elders engaged in gossip, enthusiastically discussing the matter. It seems that even in the realm of cultivation, indulging in gossip is still a common human sentiment. Liu Changsheng turned his gaze toward Chen Yao, the Mount Shu disciple who was about to duel. His eldest disciple. This Mount Shu disciple named Chen Yao was a disciple of an unnamed supreme elder of Mount Shu. The supreme elders of Mount Shu, being of the same generation as the sect leader, were old monsters with inscrutable cultivation levels. They mostly spent their time in seclusion, focusing on their own cultivation, preparing for the heavenly tribulation, and seldom took on disciples lightly. Unless the other party had a monstrous aptitude or fortuitous encounter, only then might they be taken in as a disciple by a supreme elder. The disciple apprenticeship simulator is assessing the opponent's qualifications. Name: Chen Yao. Race: human. Talent: 9 heavens mysterious lady physique, thunder spiritual root, formation. Grand Master. Cultivation: golden core realm, 3rd layer. Dao bone, 19 years. As expected, the disciple chosen by a Mount Shu Supreme Elder was astonishingly gifted. This girl, slightly older than Lin Qingzi, should be considered Lin Qingzi's senior sister. 9 heavens mysterious lady physique. According to the records of special physiques through the ages, the 9 heavens mysterious lady physique has appeared twice, solely in female cultivators. However, the record is vague about the peculiarities of the 9 heavens mysterious lady physique. A formation Grand Master is someone with an exceptional talent in setting up heavenly and earthly formations. Some cultivators are adept at using formations to defeat their enemies. The great demon sects also have many elders proficient in array formations. There was once a demon sect elder who, in order to improve his own cultivation, used a blood formation to refine an entire city, sacrificing the lives of hundreds of thousands. Qingzi, your master permits you to use the cultivation level of the 2nd layer of the golden core realm. Liu Changsheng knew that Chen Yao would be extremely troublesome for his eldest disciple. If he only used the cultivation level of the Qi transformation realm, Chen Yao would defeat him in no time. It's better to allow Lin Qingzi to accumulate experience battling a genius during this opportunity. However, in this battle, you must intentionally hold back and be content with stopping at the top. 8. He instructed. Even if you achieve 1st place, Mount Shu's rewards won't be better than what your master has given you. There's no need to draw attention to yourself for the sake of coming first. Liu Changsheng communicated secretly with Lin Qingzi. Among the remaining 8 disciples, there were apprentices of the sect leader Li Changyan, disciples of the Supreme Elders. Defeating them would likely cause an earthquake throughout Mount Shu. Cultivation isn't about fighting and killing, but about human relationships and social etiquette. Chen Yao's cultivation level was very high, so it was only logical for Lin Qingzi to, naturally, lose to her. Disciple understands. Lin Qingzi, having no desire to stand out, suppressed his power to the 2nd layer of the golden core realm, drew his longsword, and faced Chen Yao. I am Lin Qingzi of Qingyan Peak, please instruct me, senior sister. I am Chen Yao of Bimun Peak, please enlighten me. Chen Yao's voice was melodious. She stood upright and regulated her breathing. She needed to defeat only 3 more opponents to fulfill her master's expectations. In 9 years, she went from a mortal with no cultivation base to a disciple of Mount Shu at the 3rd layer of the Golden Core realm, thanks to the sacrifices of the Supreme Elder who gave up time from his seclusion to guide her cultivation. The elder who accepted her as a disciple felt that there was no hope for him to survive his tribulation, and with little time left in his life, he gave up continuing his secluded cultivation to focus on teaching her. The reason the human race has continued to thrive lies in passing on the torch from one generation to the next. I must not fail my master's expectations. Chen Yao's right hand made a motion, and a deep blue radiance gradually appeared behind her longsword. This is the Skywave Sword of Bimun Peak, an acquired spirit treasure of medium quality. Worthy of being a disciple recruited by a Supreme Elder, to have such a spiritual treasure in the Golden Core realm. With her current cultivation level, she still cannot unleash the full power of this spiritual treasure. Even so, Elder Lu's disciple is in for a tough fight. Many Mount Shu elders were taken aback, and they all looked favorably upon the disciple recruited by the Supreme Elder. Until now, Lin Qingzi had only shown the highest cultivation level of the 9th layer of the Qi transformation realm, and he had been fortunate enough not to face any Golden Core realm opponents. There was no doubt about Chen Yao's current cultivation level being in the Golden Core realm. And with a medium quality acquired spirit treasure, the outcome seemed clear. Lu Changsheng remained calm and collected. He had intentionally had Lin Qingzi lower his realm to let him try fighting across different cultivation ranks. Cultivators are not always able to suppress their enemies with their cultivation levels. Sometimes they might encounter demons with higher ranks. To defeat or escape unharmed from an opponent of a higher rank, while being lower in rank yourself, is what makes a truly formidable person. Therefore, this served as pressure resistance training for Lin Qingzi. Rise. Chen Yao's face turned serious as she pinched a sword spell with her left hand and pulled with 2 fingers of her right. The skywave sword emitted a clear ringing sound as it soared into the sky, its light shining for miles. Slash. As Chen Yao's sword technique changed, the skywave sword carried a momentum that seemed to split mountains and part seas as it slashed towards Lin Qingzi. She intended to defeat Lin Qingzi in one move. Compared to the medium quality acquired spirit treasure, Skywave Sword, the superior quality spiritual artifact, Green Abyss Sword, seemed dull and lackluster. Elder Lu's first disciple has shown a cultivation level only up to the Qi transformation realm. It seems he will be defeated in one move. The opponent is a closed-door disciple recruited by a supreme elder. Losing to her is no shame. Lin Qingzi's entrance into the top 8 already marks him as an elite disciple. Seeing Chen Yao exert her full strength with the first move, many Mount Shu elders believed Lin Qingzi wouldn't withstand a single sword strike, so they began to comfort Lu Changsheng in advance. Lu Changsheng, an elder of the Dao Palace realm with 2 such outstanding disciples, should have no regrets. Chapter 24. Open Heaven's Gate. Lin Qingzi shouted softly, executing the highest level of the Soaring Cloud Sword technique. The Green Abyss Sword shone with intense green light, its fierce sword qi carrying an unstoppable momentum as it collided with the slash from the Skywave Sword in midair. Boom! Sword qi streams crisscrossed chaotically, the solid giant timber used in the martial arts platform scattered like paper, and even wooden pillars were completely pulverized. Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao both staggered. The onlooking Mount Shu elders and disciples could not help but be shocked. Originally, they thought Lin Qingzi would fall under the sword of Chen Yao, who was at the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm, but unexpectedly Lin Qingzi staunchly blocked Chen Yao's astonishing sword momentum. Lin Qingzi has attained the Golden Core realm. This is his true cultivation level. Elder Lu, you're not being fair, having always told your disciple to suppress his cultivation level. Until now, only revealing his true level under Chen Yao's pressure. How did Elder Lu manage to train a disciple of mediocre aptitude from the foundation establishment realm to the Golden Core realm within 3 years? Many Mount Shu elders looked towards Lu Changsheng again, their eyes filled with shock, admiration, and confusion. Inconceivable. If Lin Qingzi were a genius, it might not be so surprising for others that he advanced from the foundation establishment realm to the Golden Core realm in 3 years. But Lin Qingzi's aptitudes were all lower grade. This disciple of mine, at best, has reached the 2nd layer of the Golden Core realm. Lu Changsheng sighed. 3 years, from the 1st level of the foundation establishment to the 2nd level of the Golden Core realm. Could it be that this child is a genius, and our Mount Shu's immortal artifact, Gallbladder Mirror, was mistaken? If that's really the case, then Elder Lu has picked up a huge bargain this time. Golden Core realm 2nd layer, although still not as good as Chen Yao at the Golden Core realm 3rd layer, is already very impressive. Congratulations to Elder Lu. Many Mount Shu elders expressed their admiration without end. How is that possible? Xiao Shangdao, who followed Li Changye, was heavily shaken upon seeing Lin Qingzi's cultivation reach the 2nd layer of the Golden Core realm. 3 years ago, Xiao Shangdao was at the 3rd layer of the Qi transformation realm. After cultivating alongside Li Changye for 3 years, Xiao Shangdao's cultivation level improved to the 4th layer of the Golden Core realm. Xiao Shangdao's cultivation level was higher than Lin Qingzi's displayed level, but he still felt something was amiss. The leap from the 1st layer of the foundation establishment realm to the 2nd layer of the Golden Core realm, compared to going from the 3rd layer of the Qi transformation realm to the 4th layer of the Golden Core realm, was more shocking. Regardless, during this disciple conference, the one who will rank first must be me, Xiao Shangdao. Xiao Shangdao clenched his fists, his eyes resolute. On the martial arts platform, the fierce battle raged on, with sword qi whistling through the air, and explosive sounds like thunderclaps shaking the earth, reducing the martial arts platform to ruins from the combat between the two. Although Lin Qingzi suppressed his cultivation level by 4 minor realms, still 1 minor realm below Chen Yao at the Golden Core realm 3rd layer, and his magical treasure was not as good as Chen Yao's Skywave sword. Lin Qingzi, after all, possessed the consciousness of the Golden Core realm 6th layer, enabling him to fight Chen Yao on equal grounds with great difficulty. A strong opponent, that's good. Each time Lin Qingzi's Green Abyss sword collided with Chen Yao's Skywave sword, his zodiac meridians trembled violently. He quickly circulated his Tokshuan skills to suppress the surging blood and the chaotic spiritual energy. In battling Chen Yao, Lin Qingzi was accumulating combat experience. After all, this was a brand new opponent, and Lin Qingzi knew almost nothing about her, making it more akin to a real battle. On the other hand, Chen Yao was also secretly astonished. Lin Qingzi, who seemed unremarkable in appearance and whose cultivation level seemed not very high, had actually managed to block her magical weapon. Even though Chen Yao appeared to have the upper hand, if a 3rd-level Golden Core realm disciple could not defeat a 2nd-level Golden Core realm disciple, then in reality, it was she who had lost. No, I can't disgrace my master. Chen Yao bit her silver teeth, her green clothes fluttered, and the Skywave sword returned to her hand. Junior brother, I don't want to hurt you. When I use that move, you should admit defeat, she said. Unity of person and sword. Chen Yao reminded Lin Qingzi as the Skywave sword emitted a myriad of blue lights, engulfing her. At that moment, it was as if she and the sword became one, transforming into an azure streak of light that shot up into the sky. Boom! Dark clouds hovered over the city, lightning flashed, and thunder roared. Chen Yao, holding the sword, stood in midair, the fierce wind howling, her green robe snapping in the wind, as numerous bolts of lightning were absorbed by the sharp edge of the Skywave sword, resembling a massive whirlpool. You won't be able to block this sword. Supreme Thunder command. Chen Yao's lovely face turned red, and the autumn water-like divine sword, with its overwhelming and dazzling light, slashed towards Lin Qingzi. Into this sword, Chen Yao had poured all her spiritual energy and divine sense. To her, the world around seemed to quiet down. Check out our recommendations curated just for you Discovery feed. Faced with this sword, she believed Lin Qingzi would surely retreat. However, Lin Qingzi did not back down, and on the brink of life and death, he decided to give it a try. You'll lose your life. No, that's not right, your aura. In Chen Yao's eyes, Lin Qingzi was the only one left, and she was startled to see that his momentum had suddenly increased several-fold in that instant. At the moment of life and death, Lin Qingzi's instincts led him to release his true cultivation level, and Chen Yao, who had her attention solely on him, caught it. Enough is enough. Boom! A figure interposed between Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao. With a wave of his Taoist robe, an invisible current, like a dragon drawing water, absorbed all the immense sword energy of the Skywave sword and dissipated it into nothingness. This person was Lu Changsheng. On the other side, Lu Changsheng also suppressed Lin Qingzi's cultivation level. It was a close call. His disciple nearly revealed his 6th-level Golden Core realm cultivation. Not only that, the stance of the two had already reached a life-and-death struggle. Chen Yao's cultivation technique exceeded her current realm. If Lin Qingzi had used all his cultivation to clash with her, the exhausted Chen Yao would definitely have suffered a backlash, and most likely would have perished, while Lin Qingzi might have been injured by her as well. You're being too reckless. This is just a sparring match, no need to go so far. Being too stubborn could easily lead to inner demons, Elder Lu admonished the Mount Shu disciple across from him. Thank you, Senior, for your guidance. I have learned my lesson, Chen Yao said, snapping back to reality and breaking out in a cold sweat, realizing she had indeed been too impulsive and used a technique she had not fully mastered. If it hadn't been for my master blocking sister's sword, I would have faced disaster. I admit defeat. Lin Qingzi actively sheathed the Green Abyss sword, not minding winning or losing. Many elders and disciples of Mount Shu were astounded and did not see Lin Qingzi's voluntary admission of defeat as a dishonorable act. The technique that Chen Yao used last had already surpassed the 3rd level of the Golden Core realm. Senior, your disciple, was holding back, wasn't he? Chen Yao said to Elder Lu through a voice transmission as he was leaving with Lin Qingzi. In that instant, Chen Yao had sensed that Lin Qingzi might have been concealing his true cultivation level. Lu Changsheng could not deny it and smiled, acknowledging that it was not just holding back, it was more like a floodgate. Elder Lu, your disciple, his cultivation is not just this, Fairy Shah of the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion secretly sent a voice transmission to Elder Lu. Chapter 25. Sha Ningxie took the initiative to send a telepathic message to herself, and Lu Changsheng was slightly surprised. Sha Ningxie was the holy maiden of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, usually as cold as frost, and he hadn't expected her to proactively send a message. My disciple is of mediocre talent and has achieved his current cultivation level only through dedicated focus and undivided attention, said Lu Changsheng indifferently. Even though Lu Changsheng boosted Lin Qingzi by using the power-infusing initiation, Lin Qingzi's progress in cultivation was so swift because he possessed the heart of the innocent. The 6 Orthodox sects will soon convene the 6th Tao Conference. Without asking further, Sha Ningxie simply mentioned it. The 6th Tao Conference. Lu Changsheng knew that once Sha State was in turmoil, the 6 Orthodox sects including Mount Shu, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, Martial Alliance, Hidden Dragon Temple, Refinement Sect, and Immeasurable Temple, would convene the 6th Tao Conference to discuss how to deal with the catastrophe. At the same time, the sect leaders and elders of the 6 Orthodox sects might compete at the 6th Tao Conference, displaying their strength to elevate their sect status. Within the 6 Orthodox sects, there are internal rankings as well. The higher the rank, the greater the influence. Although Mount Shu has been at the top for many years, it has not always been first. Every so often, an unparalleled genius emerges among the other 5 Orthodox sects. 20,000 years ago, an extraordinary genius appeared out of nowhere, surpassing Mount Shu's sect leader at the time, and founded what is now known as Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. The 6th Tao Conference, such an important event, determines the ranking of the 6 Orthodox sects as well as their response to the catastrophe. This time, the 6th Tao Conference is to be prepared by Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Only those of elder rank are qualified to attend the 6th Tao Conference. Changsheng, you will accompany me when the time comes. Sect leader Li Changye sent a telepathic message to Lu Changsheng. With a cultivation level in the Tao Palace realm, Lu Changsheng was fully qualified to participate in the 6th Tao Conference. Lu Changsheng also longed for the 6th Tao Conference. The 6th Tao Conference, with the attendance of sect leaders and elders from the 6 Orthodox sects, mostly well-known figures, is undoubtedly the grandest event in Sha State. While sect leaders and some elders leave for the 6th Tao Conference, the safety of Mount Shu is entrusted to the Supreme Elders, which is not a concern. Lian, intentionally lose to Xiao Shangdao. I'll initiate power-infusing initiation for you afterwards. The disciples' assembly at Mount Shu was still underway, and Lu Changsheng sent a telepathic message to his junior disciple Lian, instructing her to deliberately lose to Xiao Shangdao. Lian, who had been fighting empty-handed from the start, was at a slight disadvantage against the sword-wielding Xiao Shangdao. Lian nodded her head and, after a fierce hand-to-hand battle with Xiao Shangdao, pretended to be overpowered and stepped off the martial arts platform. HMPH, I don't want to fight you. Lian pouted and ran back to Lu Changsheng's side. Xiao Shangdao sheathed his longsword, his brows tightly furrowed. He always felt that his opponent had not gone all out, as if she had treated the match as a joke. But since Lian was just a little girl, even if she really did treat it as a joke, Xiao Shangdao couldn't very well lose his temper. At the end, it came down to Supreme Elder's disciple Chen Yao and sect leader's disciple Xiao Shangdao. Chen Yao had the 9 heavens mysterious lady physique with a cultivation level at the 3rd layer of the Golden Core realm. Xiao Shangdao possessed the spirit sword physique, at the 4th layer of the Golden Core realm. Both were among the most outstanding of Mount Shu's new generation, their sword chi wreaking havoc in the martial arts platform once again. In the end, because Chen Yao had expended a great deal of spiritual energy dueling Lin Qingzi, she lost to Xiao Shangdao, leaving him the victor. Li Changye simply nodded in acknowledgement. Li Changye also knew that if Lian, who had the martial king divine physique, had fought at full strength, his disciple might not have won. Even Chen Yao, a disciple of the Supreme Elders, might not have lost to Xiao Shangdao had she not been drained of considerable spiritual energy by Lin Qingzi. Moreover, the seemingly mediocre Lin Qingzi's true cultivation might not be just at the 2nd layer of the Golden Core realm. One can only say that this generation's Mount Shu disciples are too extraordinarily gifted. Li Changye felt greatly gratified. With disciples such as Xiao Shangdao, Lin Qingzi, Chen Yao, Lian and other geniuses, Mount Shu's future is promising. I've lost. Defeated, Chen Yao carried the skywave sword on her back, her eyes red-rimmed as she vanished forlornly into the crowd. She had hoped to earn some honor for her master, yet she did not expect to lose to Xiao Shangdao, who possessed the spirit sword physique. Qingzi, go and console Chen Yao. Lu Chengsheng noticed Chen Yao's desolate departure. He always thought that the Nine Heavens' mysterious lady physique was exceptional, especially since Chen Yao's master was one of Mount Shu's mysterious supreme elders. It wouldn't be a bad thing to seek her goodwill. What should I do? Lin Qingzi was completely puzzled. He was clueless. Lu Chengsheng rolled his eyes. This disciple was too honest, just say some comforting words. As you command, master. Following orders, Lin Qingzi went after her. In the bamboo grove on the back mountain, Chen Yao looked at the swaying green bamboo, her blue garments fluttering in the wind, with crystal clear tears occasionally dropping, glinting like silver. Missing first place by just one step was, to her youthful disposition, inevitably regretful. Who's there? Despite her upset, Chen Yao still sensed someone approaching. Senior sister, I mean no harm. Is it you? Chen Yao looked up to see the newcomer, Lin Qingzi, who had intentionally lost to her before. Are you crying? I am not. Chen Yao hastily wiped her reddened eyes with her sleeve, unwilling to admit it. Lin Qingzi scratched his head, and not knowing what to say, he recalled his master's words and spoke, actually, with senior sister's strength, had you not expended too much spiritual energy in the fight against me, brother Xiao would probably not be your match. So, in my view, senior sister is the real first place. Really, HMPH, you don't need to say such comforting words. It's not like they make me feel any better. But I am telling the truth. Also, our master said that as cultivators, we should be humble, not be competitive and overambitious. If senior sister can understand this principle, perhaps one day you might reach master's realm. Are you lecturing me? Is this how you comfort someone? You, really you're a blockhead. Chen Yao turned around, her black hair dancing in the wind among the bamboo, her eyes still tearful but smiling. Regardless, thank you. Let's go back now. By the time Chen Yao returned to the assembly with Lin Qingzi, her mood had improved significantly. Following the conclusion of Mount Shu disciples' assembly, the new generation of Mount Shu disciples had to complete their first sect trial mission. The trial mission required them to descend the mountain. Leaving the protection of Mount Shu to venture into the martial arts world could lead to encounters with demon sects, disciples or even extremely cruel loose cultivators and members of the demon race. Thus, casualties were inevitable with each trial mission, an unavoidable occurrence. The path of cultivation is fraught with danger, a matter of life and death. It's not just the newly initiated disciples, even Mount Shu's elders could fall upon leaving the shelter of Mount Shu. Lu Chengsheng himself once narrowly escaped death at the hands of a loose cultivator, the Black Tiger Taoist of Huang State. All disciples drew lots to form teams, with every 5 individuals making up a small squad, led by either a seasoned disciple who had achieved great accomplishment in the Golden Core realm or an elder in the nascent Soul realm. The trial mission was not only a matter of life and death but also a means to build the disciples' teamwork capabilities. After all, cultivators do not necessarily have to fight their battles alone. Lian, due to her unique status, couldn't leave Mount Shu, otherwise, it could alert the 4 great demon sects and the demon race of Huang State, and the difficulty of this trial mission could instantly escalate 10,000-fold. Moreover, with Lin Qingzi going out for the trial, Lu Chengsheng needed to leave a disciple behind. How else could he exploit the system for more benefits? We're on the same team. Chen Yao, who drew number 8 for the team, found herself in the same squad as Lin Qingzi, a disciple of Lu Chengsheng. Chapter 26. Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao were in a squad led by an intersect disciple of the Golden Core realm. At the 9th level, this intersect disciple had cultivated in Mount Shu for 60 years, not a novice by any means. With rich worldly experience, thus he was qualified to lead new disciples on their formative expeditions. Normally, as long as one didn't encounter an elder of the demon sects or a great demon being at the 9th level of the Golden Core realm meant one could traverse Sha State with impunity. The disciples of this generation in Mount Shu have boundless prospects. 2 years from now, We shall meet again at the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Following the conclusion of the Mount Shu Disciples Conference, the elders of the 5 righteous Tao sects held a covert meeting with Li Changye before taking to the skies on their swords and departing. Changsheng, have you noticed? Shaningshe, the newly accepted disciple of the Fairy Pavilion Master, possesses exceptionally high talent. Senior brother Li Changye watched the departing crowd and communicated telepathically with Lu Changsheng. Despite her young age, her cultivation has already reached the Tao Palace realm, indeed formidable. During the 6th Tao Conference, it's likely that the Fairy Pavilion Master will send this girl to challenge the rank of our young generation elders in Mount Shu. Although I'm confident in defeating her, having cultivated for 500 years, a victory over her would hardly be honorable. 1,500 years ago, the 6th Tao Conference was held at our Mount Shu, and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion challenged our position as number 1. The Pavilion Master fought our sect leader and was defeated in all 3 battles, losing face completely. As a result, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's status fell to 5th place. I reckon the Fairy Pavilion Master still remembers this. You are the last direct disciple accepted by our sect leader. For this 6th Tao Conference, we can only hope you will defeat Shaningshe. Li Changye spoke with a heavy heart as he patted Lu Changsheng's shoulder. Li Changye had been present to protect Lu Changsheng during his breakthrough to the Tao Palace realm, witnessing the heavenly phenomena induced by Lu Changsheng. Believing that Lu Changsheng's talent was no less than his own, he hoped that Lu Changsheng could stand against Shaningshe and uphold Mount Shu's dignity. To battle Shaningshe, senior brother, if I defeat Shaningshe when the time comes, you'll have my back, right? Lu Changsheng wasn't afraid of Shaningshe, but he was concerned about the Fairy Pavilion Master supporting her from behind. How would he face it if the Fairy Pavilion Master, after finally finding an opportunity to disgrace the Mount Shu sect leader, decided to personally draw a sword and pursue him if he ruined it? Ha ha ha, both Master and I will have your back. Understanding Lu Changsheng's implication, Li Changye reassured him. It seems his senior brother also enjoys stirring up a bit of chaos. Before his disciples set off for their trials, Lu Changsheng summoned Lin Qingzi and performed a power-infusing initiation on him. Ding, you have imparted 300 days of heavenly cultivation to your disciple, Lin Qingzi, and Lin Qingzi has actually gained 60 days of cultivation. Ding, you have received an 80-fold return reward for your teaching, 4.800 days of cultivation. Ding, the number of power-infusing initiation you can perform today -1, the remaining count for initiating today is 1. Due to Lu Changsheng's realm advancement, Lin Qingzi only gained 60 days of his cultivation. But his qi was now brimming with spiritual energy. Lu Changsheng obtained over 10 years of cultivation return, further solidifying his Tao Palace. Disciple, your master has foreseen through calculation that 1 year from now, on your way back to Mount Shu after completing your trials, you will encounter a tribulation. Master can tell fortunes. Lin Qingzi's eyes widened. To mysteriously calculate the ways of heaven, even the temple master of the Hidden Dragon Temple would not dare claim to accurately predict events a year in advance. Yet, his master had outright stated that he would experience a tribulation in a year's time. I know a thing or two. How should your disciple face this tribulation? When the time comes, you needn't worry, keep calm and handle it. If you truly cannot overcome, your master will appear and assist you in crossing the tribulation. Thank you, Master. Your disciple takes the liberty to ask. Goon, is Master an immortal? Do I look like an immortal to you? Yes, very much so. Lin Qingzi was convinced that Lu Changsheng was an immortal hidden away, cultivating in Mount Shu. Otherwise, how could Lu Changsheng bestow limitless power-infusing initiation? How could he foresee the future and be so prescient? To me, an immortal is nothing more than a cultivator with a much higher level of cultivation. Before you depart, as a reward, I'll bestow upon you some elixir pills for your survival during your trials. Lu Changsheng casually handed over a bag of elixir pills. With Lin Qingzi's current realm, elixir pills below the 3rd grade were more than sufficient. Higher grade elixir pills might risk causing his body to explode from their potent power. Over the past 3 years, Lu Changsheng diligently exploited the system benefits every day, amassing hundreds of advanced elixir pills, including an 8th grade elixir pill that returned a 10,000-fold reward. The power of an 8th grade elixir pill is so strong that even those in the Tao Palace realm cannot withstand it. Lu Changsheng need only take out a few 5th grade elixir pills to trade for a stack of 3rd grade or lower elixir pills at Mount Shu's elixir pavilion, never fearing a lack of elixir pills to reward his disciples. As for high-grade elixir pills, Lu Changsheng uses them for body tempering himself and his young apprentice. The higher the grade of the elixir pill, the better the body tempering effect, and the stronger the physique. Of course, if the power of the elixir is too strong, it could easily result in the body exploding and death. Thank you, Master. Qingzi has been away from Mount Shu for a year and couldn't serve by the Master's side. I hope the Master will forgive me. Lin Qingzi bowed deeply, then respectfully took his leave. Master, Lian also wants to go down the mountain and play. Please. Lian clung to Lu Changsheng's arm, coquettishly pleading to descend the mountain for trials. No, you may not. Here in Mount Shu, you have the protection of your master, sect leader, eldest, senior brother, and the supreme elders. If you leave, your presence could alarm the 4 great demon sects and the demons of Huang State. Do you want to be devoured by a great demon? All right then. Lian, remembering being chased by the Black Tiger Taoist in Reincarnation Hall 3 years ago, reluctantly gave up the idea of leaving the mountain. So when can Lian leave the mountain? You must at least reach the Tao Palace realm, with your martial king divine physique becoming somewhat established. Lu Changsheng pondered for a while and, considering his young apprentice's monstrous talent, realized that once she had somewhat established her martial king divine physique, she would have no problem blowing apart great demons of the caliber of the Black Tiger Taoist with her bare hands. That's too long. Lian pouted but continued to cultivate under Lu Changsheng's guidance. For a peerless genius like Lian, who could reach the Tao Palace realm in her 20s, such a period of cultivation was indeed insignificant. In the Qi transformation realm, one's lifespan is 150 years. In the Golden Core realm, it is 300 years. In the Nascent Soul realm, it is 500 years. In the Tao Palace realm, it is 1,000 years. A dozen or so years, to a cultivator of the Tao Palace realm, is no more than a year or two for a common mortal. Lu Changsheng still wanted to linger in Mount Shu for a while longer. Without being invincible, Lu Changsheng always felt the world of cultivation was fraught with danger. Staying in Mount Shu was wonderful, with the protection of the sect leader and the supreme elders, and the abundant nature's spiritual energy to use when breaking through. It was truly a holy land for cultivation. Only if the spiritual energy of Mount Shu was no longer sufficient would Lu Changsheng consider relocating. Lian continued cultivating with Lu Changsheng on Qingyan Peak, while his eldest disciple, Lin Qingzi, began his year-long trial as a disciple. Lin Qingzi's team was led by a senior disciple at the 9th layer of the Golden Core realm. It also included Chen Yao at the 3rd layer of the Golden Core realm, a disciple at the 9th layer of Qi transformation realm, one at the 6th layer, and one at the 4th layer, totaling 6 members. The master has predicted that I will face a trial in a year's time. I must be especially cautious. Lin Qingzi trusted his master, Lu Changsheng, wholeheartedly without a trace of doubt. Silly boy, what are you brooding over? Chen Yao carried the skywave sword on her back and, seeing Lin Qingzi frown in thought, she approached him. My master said that in a year, our team will face a dire calamity. You should be careful too. I thought you were honest and simple, yet you want to deceive me. Do you think your master is the temple master of the Hidden Dragon Temple, known for his incredible predictions? Chen Yao was skeptical. The time law is among the most difficult in all of nature. To predict the workings of fate may also invite backlash. Not even the temple master of the Hidden Dragon Temple can necessarily foresee events a year in advance. Lin Qingzi promised with conviction, I swear, my master will not be wrong. How about we make a bet? Whoever loses has to agree to do one thing for the other. The master said the martial world is perilous, and we must not bet lightly with others. So you do not have confidence in your master's prediction? The master won't be wrong. All right, I'll bet with you. Lin Qingzi scratched his head. What a fool, getting twisted into making a bet by me. Chen Yao found it amusing, but what she didn't know was that Lu Changsheng had already used the system to simulate Lin Qingzi's life beforehand. In the end, she was actually the one lured into the trap. Chapter 27. Today, I shall impart to you the secret technique for tracking, Lu Changsheng said. Lu Changsheng took out a profound rank low-grade cultivation technique. Although this was just a profound rank technique, it had no small use. To track an enemy's breath and utterly exterminate them, eliminate all future troubles. Lu Changsheng detached a wisp of spiritual energy and attached it to a spirit ape that he invited over, and Lian did the same, detaching his own wisp of spiritual energy. Recite the mnemonic verse of the tracking technique in your mind, maintain a sense of this wisp of spiritual energy, and no matter where the spirit ape has gone, you will be aware of it. Go, he ordered. Guided by Lu Changsheng's directions, the spirit ape left the cave dwelling. Being able to serve as a teaching tool for Dao Palace realms, Lu Changsheng was a great fortune for it. Many spirit beasts in Mount Shu attained enlightenment, not just because the spiritual energy of Mount Shu was rich, but also because occasionally they could receive advice from the Mount Shu elders. Master, I can feel it, the spirit ape has reached the mountainside. Lian recited the mnemonic verse silently and then clearly sensed the location of the spirit ape. This is the simplest form of the tracking technique. Next, I will teach you the second layer of the tracking technique, which can search for enemies within 100 miles by their scent. But you need to understand one thing, the tracking technique is not entirely reliable. The opponent can use different scents to mask their own, and by holding their breath and concentrating their mind, they can evade tracking. Even more formidable are those who use magic formations to conceal their existence and merge with nature. At this time, strategy is essential. You might launch a surprise counterattack or draw the snake out of the hole. When tracking an enemy, you also need to consider the most likely direction they would flee or the most likely place they would hide to find them the fastest. Ingenuity is also a part of strength. Using ingenuity is the highest realm of the tracking technique. Lu Changsheng began to impart the second and third layers of understanding for the tracking technique. Lu Changsheng took out a small twig from a bird's nest on Qingyan Peak, and then had Lian use the scent on the twig, covering Qingyan Peak with his divine sense to find the exact location of the bird's nest. At first, Lian was not proficient and it took him half an hour to find the bird's nest on a crooked tree at the mountain's peak. Once proficient, Lu Changsheng took out a pine cone, and this time, it took Lian less than a quarter of an hour to find the location of the spirit squirrel. Ding, you have bestowed your disciple, Lian, with the profound rank low-grade cultivation tracking technique, and have received a 500 times return reward for teaching. Heaven rank low-grade cultivation technique of 10,000 Li. Tracking. Ding, the number of bestowal opportunities today -1. Out of nowhere, a heaven rank low-grade cultivation technique appeared in Lu Changsheng's arms. Technique of 10,000 Li tracking, with just a faint wisp of scent, could track an enemy thousands of miles away, and at the highest level of cultivation, one could even see the scenes surrounding the person being tracked from thousands of miles away. Isn't this just like having clairvoyance? Lu Changsheng was elated. If he could cultivate technique of 10,000 Li tracking to the highest level, then even without leaving Mount Shu, he would be able to use the tracking secret technique to see what his disciple was doing. This was one of its uses. The most significant use of technique of 10,000 Li tracking was for chasing down enemies. If you don't remove the roots, the spring breeze will bring them back to life. By mastering this secret technique, it would be extremely difficult for the enemy to escape. As a heaven rank technique, Lian was not yet able to comprehend it, so Lu Changsheng began to cultivate technique of 10,000 Li tracking first. 3 months later, Lu Changsheng split a strand of his divine sense and, following the aura of his eldest disciple Lin Qingzi, left Mount Shu to track Lin Qingji's whereabouts. The technique of 10,000 Li tracking uses the space law, which is extremely difficult to comprehend. Lu Changsheng guided this inconsequential strand of divine sense, tracking for thousands of Li. 3 days and nights passed, and Lu Changsheng's strand of divine sense entered a feudal kingdom known as Ji Country. The group of Mount Shu disciples that Lin Qingzi was part of, under the guise of loose cultivators, traveled while slaying demons and promoting righteousness and was currently in Ji Country. Lu Changsheng's divine sense, through the use of a secret technique, searched for Lin Qingzi's exact location in Ji Country. Found you. Another day passed, and Lu Changsheng, using the technique of 10,000 Li tracking, finally located his eldest disciple's position. Condense. Inside the cave dwelling on Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng's real body continuously changed. Hand signs, forcibly condensing the scenery thousands of Li away. I see it. Lu Changsheng peered across 10,000 li and vaguely saw the Mount Shu group where Lin Qingzi was located. In Ji country, at vast wilderness marsh, several hundred loose cultivators had responded to the local government's recruitment and gathered at the local military camp. The military camp stretched for tens of li, with flags fluttering in the wind, and 200,000 mortal soldiers assembled. A general with cultivation at the 5th layer of the Golden Core realm, his demeanor imposing, said to the several hundred loose cultivators with a fist salute, "I am Chu Yu, the great general of Ji country. This time we are campaigning against the bandits in vast wilderness marsh. I must trouble all the Taoist masters present to lend their aid. The bandit leader Sima Kuang is a heretic cultivator at the 6th layer of the Golden Core realm, who has rallied 800 highly skilled bandits, entrenched in the miasma-filled vast wilderness marsh, and frequently raids various cities, engaging in arson, murder, and looting. The court has long sought to eradicate this bandit. However, each time we send troops against them, these 800 bandits would hide within the vast wilderness marsh, elusive as spirits and ghosts, causing the Grand Army to return without success. Therefore, the court is sparing no expense this time, recruiting all the Taoist masters and dispatching an army of 200,000, determined to exterminate these bandits. Tomorrow, the 200,000-strong army will attack vast wilderness marsh. All the Taoist masters need only to slay the bandit leader Sima Kuang. Leave the rest of the bandits to us. As long as the Taoist masters contribute to the victory, RG country will surely reward you handsomely. Whoever slays the bandit leader Sima Kuang will be rewarded with a 5th-grade elixir pill." Chu Yu announced the contents of the bounty mission to the assembled loose cultivators. Upon hearing about the 5th-grade elixir pill, all the loose cultivators present went wild with desire. Such a pill was worth a fortune, especially for the loose cultivators presented, whose cultivation levels were mostly within the Qi transformation realm and Golden Core realm. Some might never even see a 4th-grade elixir pill in their entire lifetime, let alone a 5th-grade one. Just a 5th-grade elixir pill. Lu Changsheng, observing the crowd through the technique of 10,000 li tracking and seeing them go crazy over a single 5th-grade elixir pill, couldn't help but mutter to himself. Because he consistently exploited the system for its benefits, Lu Changsheng had a mountainous pile of 4th-grade, 5th-grade, and 6th-grade elixir pills in his possession, and even a precious 8th-grade elixir pill that could shake the 6 righteous Tao sects and the 4 great demon sects. It seemed that aiding Ji country in the elimination of the 800 bandits in vast wilderness marsh was the most important task for Lin Qingzi and the Mount Shu group during this excursion. The leader of the 800 bandits, Sima Kuang, a heretic cultivator at the 6th layer of the Golden Core realm, was of a lower realm than the leading Mount Shu disciple at the 9th layer of the Golden Core realm. The task appeared not to be a difficult one for this training mission. However, Lu Changsheng knew there was something unusual about heretic cultivators. Heretic cultivators practiced crooked and perverse Taoist techniques, often catching their adversaries off guard. The Black Tiger Taoist Lu Changsheng encountered in Huang State had such a technique called Black Tiger Heart Devouring, that could attack the soul of an enemy, causing their soul to scatter and disperse. I have a feeling that Master seems to be watching over us. Lin Qingzi, amidst the loose cultivators, suddenly had a realization. In the depths of his soul, it felt as if his master was paying attention to this training mission. Chapter 28. Junior brother, what nonsense are you talking about? Elder Lu is thousands of miles away in Mount Shu, how could he be here? Chen Yao felt that Lin Qingzi must have gone mad upon hearing him talk to himself. Perhaps I am overthinking it. Lin Qingzi also found it unbelievable. How could his master be meditating on Qingyan Peak at this time and still be aware of events occurring thousands of miles away? The great general of Ji country, Chu Yu, continued to describe the situation of the mission. We will break camp tomorrow, so I ask all Taoist priests to rest well tonight in preparation for the major battle. Hold on a moment. Just as everyone was about to go rest, Lin Qingzi suddenly spoke up. The surrounding loose cultivators, Ji country's commanders, and even the disciples of Mount Shu who had come with Lin Qingzi were all greatly surprised. The unremarkable Lin Qingzi actually stood up at this moment. Lu Changsheng, who was observing this cultivation trial from thousands of miles away, also showed a hint of surprise, even more curious about what this usually low-profile disciple was going to do next. G country has marshaled 200,000 troops and spared no expense in recruiting extraordinary individuals, all to exterminate the 800 bandits of vast wilderness marsh. Since Sima Qiang has managed to escape the encirclement multiple times, his nature must be cunning and ruthless. Such a grandiose operation by G country must have already alarmed Sima Qiang. If I were Sima Qiang, I would definitely send loyal subordinates to infiltrate our group of loose cultivators. In this way, every move we make would be in Sima Qiang's grasp. 200,000 troops marching into vast wilderness marsh would be nothing but a death sentence. Lin Qingzi's analysis was incisive, causing even the great general of G country to change color. Upon hearing it, the loose cultivators present were in an uproar. Upon careful consideration, they realized that what Lin Qingzi described was highly probable. One of the 800 bandits had already infiltrated their ranks. I've been sensing everyone's aura with spiritual energy just now. I noticed someone whose aura changed drastically after my analysis. If I'm not wrong, you are the inside agent sent by Sima Qiang. Lin Qingzi swiftly turned his gaze toward a Qi transformation realm 7th layer loose cultivator, who was already sweating profusely. Damn it, this loose cultivator, exposed by Lin Qingzi, attempted to draw his flying sword and fight to the death. Bandit, meet your end. A golden core realm loose cultivator acted first, a sword to the throat, killing the inside agent. The inside agent's eyes were lifeless, as he fell to the ground. A Qi transformation realm 7th layer cultivator, when facing a golden core realm loose cultivator, had almost no chance of fighting back. The golden core realm loose cultivator wiped the sweat from his forehead and gave a toothy grin, saying to Lin Qingzi, "Little Taoist priest, you truly have a natural eye for detail to be able to detect the inside agent sent by Sima Qiang. May I ask who is your master?" This golden core realm loose cultivator inquired almost flatteringly. However, Lin Qingzi's expression was icy. "May I ask this fellow Taoist, why did you not attempt to capture the inside agent sent by Sima Qiang alive and have him lead us into vast wilderness marsh, instead of immediately silencing him?" Whoosh! With Lin Qingzi's reminder, the eyes of everyone present suddenly focused on the golden core realm loose cultivator. This golden core realm loose cultivator certainly had a problem. Had it not been for Lin Qingzi's reminder, they might not have realized what was off. This golden core realm loose cultivator, who was in a hurry to kill in silence and sweating profusely, could very well be one of the 800 bandits. "You bastard!" As expected, the exposed golden core realm loose cultivator became frantic. His expression twisting into a snarl. "F kid all, I'm not hiding anymore. Yes, I am an inside agent of the 800 bandits. You dare to provoke us, you will have no grave to be buried in." A loose cultivator of the golden core realm summoned a flying sword, and rode the sword to the sky. HMPH, trying to escape. Chu Yu, who was at the 5th level of the golden core realm, immediately pursued into the sky. Clenching his 5 fingers into a fist, carrying an unstoppable domineering aura, and smashed toward the insider. Where the power of the fist went, the air exploded. Lin Qingzi, Chen Yao, and other loose cultivators of the golden core realm took action at the same time, surrounding and attacking the unfortunate insider with their swords. The insider at the golden core realm was only at the 2nd level of cultivation, and once exposed, he couldn't fend off the attacks from all sides, quickly getting beaten black and blue. And ultimately captured alive. This young Taoist is truly a remarkable person, with meticulous thoughts, actually able to root out Sima Qiang's insider among us. Chu Yu, having captured alive the insider sent by Sima Qiang, couldn't stop praising Lin Qingzi. Even he had not noticed that every single one of his moves was under Sima Qiang's surveillance. "Great General, vast wilderness marsh is Sima Qiang's territory, filled with miasma and teeming with traps. An army of 200,000 marching into vast wilderness marsh would surely suffer heavy casualties. Instead, using the insider's identity, we send false intelligence to Sima Qiang and lure the snake out of its hole. My senior sister is skilled in the Tao array and can conceal everyone's spiritual energy. We can set an ambush along the way. Once Sima Qiang enters the ambush, the great general can lead the troops in a counterattack, while we loose cultivators take care of executing Sima Qiang. Compared to a direct assault on vast wilderness marsh, this might reduce the number of casualties. After Lin Qingzi offered his insights, the eyes of Ji country's great general, Chu Yu, shone even brighter. Brilliant plan. What a brilliant plan. Chu Yu expressed his immense admiration. Young Taoist is proficient in military strategy. If you could join us in Ji country, my position as great general could be yours in the future. How do you feel about that proposal, young Taoist? I am not that talented, it is all because of my master's good teaching. After this matter is resolved, I still have to return to serve at my master's side. My cultivation is far behind that of my master. Lin Qingzi calmly shook his head, declining Chu Yu's offer. If young Taoist is already so capable, then your master must indeed be an unmatched hermit. Expert hidden from the world. Come to think of it, how could young Taoist possibly care for the position of a great general in our small country? Someone, proceed according to young Taoist's plans. Chu Yu was filled with regret, always feeling that Lin Qingzi was a superior military talent. Junior brother, you've gained my newfound respect. Chen Yao put away her previous contempt for Lin Qingzi and actually felt that a serious Lin Qingzi had a certain charm. Really? Lin Qingzi scratched his head. He simply had taken an interest in chess and military strategy due to the influence of the man who had adopted him, the naval commander of Liang country. But just a little bit. Chen Yao still didn't want to admit it. Ha ha ha, once we get rid of the bandit Sima Kuang, I must personally host a grand feast to treat all the Taoists, especially the two young Taoists. The great general of Ji country, seeing the conversation between Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao, always felt that the two had extraordinary backgrounds, hence he laughed heartily, intentionally mentioning the two of them. At that moment, Elder Lu, who was observing in secret, felt a storm surge within him. He had never expected that his disciple was feigning foolishness with great wisdom. Aside from practicing, Lin Qingzi usually either played chess or studied military tactics. It appeared that his disciple, seemingly dull and silly at ordinary times, had his talents concentrated on focus, go, and military strategy. With undivided attention, one could achieve success in any path, and without a heart demon to trouble him, a clear and open journey awaits. This was the terrifying aspect of having a heart of the innocent. This disciple might well be an exceptional genius. Chapter 29. Boss, our inside man has successfully poisoned them, the great general of Ji country and a bunch of loose cultivators are poisoned, gasping for air and resting in mysterious valley. Now is the perfect time for us to launch a surprise attack. Once we annihilate Ji country's 200,000 troops, how about leading our brothers to storm Ji country's imperial city, seize the emperor's throne, and become the emperor ourselves? Boss, with your 6th layer cultivation in the Golden Core realm, playing emperor wouldn't be too bad. Ha ha ha, I don't want to be any damn emperor. I would rather be a bandit, it's far more thrilling. Sima Kuang led 800 bandits on a rapid march, heading for an assault on Mysterious Valley. The 800 bandits didn't detect any murderous intent along the way and entered Mysterious Valley without incident. Inside Mysterious Valley, the encampment of 200,000 Ji country soldiers was eerily silent. Boss, something seems off here. Damn it, we've been tricked. Having roamed the Jianghu for many years, Sima Kuang was vicious and cunning and immediately realized they had fallen into a trap. Sima Kuang, you and your 800 bandits have done countless evil deeds, it's time you were brought to justice. From both sides of the valley, within the forest, hundreds of loose cultivators and 200,000 mortal soldiers burst out from magic formations, swarming forward in a dark mass and encircling the 800 bandits. 5 Mount Shu disciples, mingled with the hundreds of loose cultivators, sealed off all directions to prevent Sima Kuang's escape. Damn it, you used a magic formation to mask your presence. Sima Kuang's expression grew darker by the moment. Indeed, the 800 of you bandits have sacked and pillaged, with no fewer than 100,000 lives on your hands. Your sins are as high as the heavens, you must be executed. Chen Yao gestured with her right hand, and the skywave sword at her back shone with a brilliant azure light. The disciples of Mount Shu, righteous and chivalrous, were filled with righteous indignation upon encountering a ruthless villain like Sima Kuang. I've traversed the Jianghu for 80 years, starting as an ordinary mountain bandit, struggling and surviving numerous brushes with death, to achieve my current level of cultivation. And you think you can kill me just like that? Sima Kuang drew a demon blade, his eyes fierce. Surrounded by countless troops and many Loose cultivators, he remained arrogant. Each of the 800 bandits had blood on their hands and dared not surrender, so they fought desperately. These 800 bandits were loose cultivators and warriors with cultivation, which was why G country had to mobilize 200,000 soldiers to exterminate them. Sima Kuang, good and evil will always be repaid in the end. This mysterious valley shall be your grave. G country's great general Chu Yu brandished a long spear, joining forces with the Mount Shu disciples and other loose cultivators, to besiege Sima Kuang and the Golden Core Realm bandits and warriors among the 800 bandits. 200,000 mortal soldiers simultaneously unleashed volleys of arrows, blades flashing and swords clashing, tasked with suppressing the bandits of the Foundation Establishment Realm and Chi Transformation Realm. The leading Golden Core Realm 9th layer disciple transmitted a message to the 5 Mount Shu disciples including Lin Qingzi. During this sect mission, I will only intervene in critical situations. You should try to complete the tasks on your own. Understood. Lin Qingzi and Lian, 2 Golden Core Realm Mount Shu disciples, teamed up with Chu Yu, a 5th layer Golden Core Realm cultivator, to besiege the 6th layer Golden Core Realm Sima Kuang, theoretically gaining the upper hand. The letting experienced Mount Shu disciples' mission was to protect the trainee disciples in dangerous situations and to record everyone's performance during the assessment. Unless absolutely necessary, issues had to be resolved by the newly initiated disciples themselves. A 1st layer Golden Core Realm loose cultivator was bisected at the waist by Sima Kuang's blood demon blade in the midst of battle, his blood spraying across the sky, emitting a piercing scream. The faces of the Mount Shu disciples on the training mission turned pale. Unlike friendly sparring that stops at a light touch, during Zhonghu training against a cold-blooded loose cultivator like Sima Kuang, one could easily meet an untimely death. Slash. With a flick of her 2 fingers, Chen Yao's skywave sword, radiating a dazzling azure glow, slashed towards Sima Kuang. Blood demon blade skills. Sima Kuang didn't dodge. Instead, his demon blade, engulfed in a massive surge of blood, audaciously met Chen Yao's attack. The blood-red light engulfed the sword chi, and surged back towards Chen Yao. Chen Yao hastily dodged, but within the blood light, there was a nauseating, disgusting aura. Mixed in, various negative emotions surged to her mind, causing confusion and turmoil within her spirit. Senior sister, be careful. Seeing Chen Yao momentarily stunned, Lin Qingzi stepped in front of her and used the green abyss sword to block Sima Kuang's next slash with his blood blade. The clash of blade and sword resonated like thunder in the sky, a vast and invisible shockwave emanated from the duo, rapidly expanding in all directions. Throughout his training, Lin Qingzi had always kept his realm suppressed at the 2nd layer of the Golden Core Realm. Now outmatched by Sima Kuang, his body involuntarily flew backward. Suddenly, warmth came from behind him as the revived Chen Yao caught him, stabilizing his form. Chen Yao, with her special constitution and being a direct disciple of the Supreme Elders of Mount Shu, quickly adjusted despite the influence of the blood blade. How are you not affected by my blood demon blade skills? Sima Kuang was astounded. His blood demon blade skills could awaken the inner demons deep within a person's heart, tormenting the opponent with unbearable pain, rendering them incapable of fighting. With this technique, Sima Kuang had roamed the martial world for many years, killing many powerful adversaries. However, Lin Qingzi possessed the heart of the innocent, free from inner demons. In other words, the effectiveness of Sima Kuang's blood demon blade skills was greatly reduced. Against Lin Qingzi, Sima Kuang, don't forget you're also fighting me. Our realms only differ by 1 layer, and I am aided by so many fellow cultivators. Your death is certain. Chu Yu attacked from behind, his lance trembling, turning into thousands of spear shadows, enveloping Sima Kuang. Sima Kuang turned to counter with his blade, engaging in a fierce fight with Chu Yu. Both moved with extreme speed, their forms flickering like phantoms, swiftly colliding. You think my true cultivation is only at the 6th layer of the Golden Core Realm? I've roamed the martial world for years, not only because of my decisive killing but also my patience. Now, let me show you my true cultivation. The aura around Sima Kuang surged as his cultivation level skyrocketed. Astonishingly, he ascended 2 levels, reaching the 8th layer of the Golden Core Realm. What? Chu Yu was shocked and dismayed. If Sima Kuang was only at the 6th layer of the Golden Core Realm, then Chu Yu, being at the 5th layer, could have still fought. But now, a gap of 3 minor realms stood between them. True to his reputation, Sima Qiang, who had roamed the martial world for years, was indeed ruthless, never easily revealing his true power. The people who had seen Sima Qiang's true power were all dead. Sima Qiang launched another slash, its power greatly magnified, the great general of Ji country. Unable to withstand Sima Qiang's strength, had his armor cleaved open, a bloody gash appearing on his chest. The leading disciple of Mount Shu frowned, as Sima Qiang's realm far exceeded his predictions, and was now beyond the capability of any new disciple who had joined the sect within the last 10 years. Just as he was about to intervene, Lin Qingzi, with the green abyss sword in hand and a determined expression, employed the soaring cloud sword technique and attacked Sima Qiang from behind. Little runt, don't you know my cultivation is at the 8th layer of Golden Core Realm now? What makes you, a mere 2nd layer Golden Core Realm brat, think you can oppose me? Sima Qiang mocked, ignoring Lin Qingzi's sneak attack, intending first to slay the great general of Ji country, whom he perceived as a greater threat. To kill the great general would also demoralize the 200,000 strong army of Ji country, providing relief for the 800 bandits. You're not the only one who has hidden their cultivation. Open Heaven's Gate. Lin Qingzi furiously channeled the Tokshuan skills, the spiritual energy in his dantian overflowing into the zodiac meridians, his aura swelling. He suddenly reached the 7th layer of the Golden Core Realm. During the Mount Shu Disciples' Grand Assembly, Lin Qingzi's real realm was still at the 6th layer of the Golden Core Realm. Before descending the mountain, Lu Changsheng performed another power-infusing initiation on Lin Qingzi. After 3 months of refining spiritual energy and training, his cultivation had reached the 7th layer of the Golden Core Realm. No, impossible. Sima Qiang, realizing Lin Qingzi's true power was only a minor realm below his own, was too late to defend fully. Chapter 30. Lin Qingzi's green abyss sword pierced through Sima Qiang's chest, and the fierce sword qi tore through Sima Qiang's meridians, causing blood to spill. Who would have thought that after roaming the Jianghu for so many years, I would actually be plotted against by a youngster like you? As Sima Qiang neared death, he glared with eyes wide open, unable to close them in peace. He never expected Lin Qingzi, who was so young, to have reached the 7th level of the Golden Core Realm and had all along concealed his abilities. A single misstep in the game had marked the difference between life and death. The loose cultivators from Ji country who surrounded Sima Qiang all stood frozen in place, and their gazes toward Lin Qingzi were as if they were looking at a monster. The vile and deeply scheming Sima Qiang died under the sword of an unknown junior. I never would have guessed that young friend is actually an elusive expert. My apologies. Ji country's great general Chu Yu, upon seeing Sima Qiang killed, was greatly shocked. Lin Qingzi's cultivation was higher than his, which made him respect Lin Qingzi involuntarily. Not only that, but considering Lin Qingzi's young age and his level of cultivation, Chu Yu firmly believed that there must be an exceptional expert guiding him, or he wouldn't believe it even if he were beaten to death. So this is your true cultivation, the 7th level of the Golden Core Realm. You were indeed holding back against me before. Chen Yao, too, was astonished by Lin Qingzi's true display of cultivation. What was most rare was Lin Qingzi's temperament. Despite having such cultivation, he could have completely defeated her and Xiao Shangdao in the Mount Shu Disciples' Conference and taken first place, but he chose to withdraw halfway through. With the death of Sima Qiang, the highest cultivation bandit among the 800, the other bandits were subsequently exterminated by the Ji country's army and numerous loose cultivators. Lu Changsheng, observing secretly, saw his disciple kill Sima Qiang with a concealed ability and a single sword strike, knowing that the following battle would have no suspense. Thus he discontinued the technique of 10,000 li tracking. Though the technique of 10,000 li tracking was mysterious and allowed one to observe scenes from 10,000 li away, it required a vast amount of spiritual energy. With Lu Changsheng's current state, he could not sustain it for a very long time. My disciple's tribulations are still several months away. When the time comes, I will descend the mountain to help him through the dangers. Lu Changsheng saw Lin Qingzi making great progress during his trials and was very pleased, so he continued to cultivate the Taiching Wuji technique. The Taiching Wuji technique was profoundly mysterious, and even for Lu Changsheng, who Possessed the innate Taoist body, the 5th level of the technique was exceedingly difficult. I wonder what level of cultivation one must attain to comprehend the 9th level of the Tai Ching Wuji technique. The creator of this technique, nameless true person, was indeed extraordinary. Liu Chengsheng meditated in seclusion for 3 days and 3 nights and only then grasped a small part of the 5th level. To fully comprehend the 5th layer of the Tai Ching Wuji technique was still far off. Liu Chengsheng opened his eyes, having already heard Lian's footsteps. Sure enough, a girl in practice clothes bounced into the cave, her features fine and delicate, her big eyes watery and full of life, adding to her spirited look, each side of her face adorned with small dimples, winning people's affection. However, upon seeing his disciple enter, Liu Chengsheng slightly furrowed his brows. This little ancestor was a bona fide wrecking force. 3 years ago, when Lian's cultivation was not high, she couldn't stir up much trouble, but as Lian's cultivation improved, she was almost tearing down Qingyan Peak. Once her martial king divine physique was slightly accomplished, it was likely that the whole Mount Shu would be turned upside down in chaos. Master, Lian has already refining the spiritual energy from the last technique you taught me. And as instructed by Master, I've come to receive the power-infusing initiation. Lian sat on the cushion, chatting while sizing up what fun spiritual artifacts there might be in her Master's cave. Last time Lian took Liu Chengsheng's innate spirit treasure, 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword, out to play. She couldn't control the power of the innate treasure, and with one strike she chopped off the top of a hillock on Qingyan Peak, scaring all kinds of spirit beasts there. Ever since that incident, Liu Chengsheng simply placed the 9 Heavens Imperial Thunder Sword into his own Dao Palace to prevent Lian from taking it out again, completely destroying his cultivation retreat. Ding, you've transferred 500 days of heavenly cultivation to your disciple, Lian, who has actually received 100 days of heavenly cultivation. Ding, you have received a 70-fold return reward from teaching your disciple, 7,000 days of heavenly cultivation. Closing square bracket. Ding, you have bestowed upon your disciple, Lian, a 2nd-grade elixir pill, detoxification pill. And you have received a 400-fold return, a 5th-grade elixir pill, all poison immunity pill. Ding, you have granted your disciple, Lian, a high-grade spiritual artifact, purple brilliance battle clothes, and you have received a 300-fold return, a high-grade acquired spirit treasure. Phoenix feather universe clothes. Ding, the number of times you can perform power-infusing initiation today -1, the number of times you can give rewards today -2. Following his usual routine, Liu Chengsheng performed power-infusing initiation for Lian and also bestowed elixir pills and treasures, exploiting the system for his benefit. The battle clothes given to Lian were a treasure used by female cultivators, and the item returned was also a high-grade treasure of the same type, albeit useless to Liu Chengsheng. Soon after, Liu Chengsheng waved his sleeve, and a wooden barrel appeared. Inside was a body, refinement elixir concocted from 2nd grade, 3rd grade, and even 4th grade elixir pills. Lian's martial king divine physique required a great amount of heavenly materials and earthly treasures to achieve minor accomplishment, and Liu Chengsheng did not hesitate to use 4th grade elixir pills to concoct the body refinement elixir. In the future, he might even use 5th grade, or possibly even 6th grade elixir pills. The more domineering the physique, the more heavenly materials and earthly treasures it requires. Ordinary sects truly can't afford to raise a disciple like Lian. After Liu Chengsheng left, Lian removed her clothes and soaked in the wooden barrel, meditating. According to the 10,000 phenomena body refining skills, her flawlessly white martial, king divine physique absorbed the medicinal strength from the barrel, repeatedly reforging her body. Liu Chengsheng went to another part of the cave dwelling and began to practice the 9 Dragons refinement technique. While cultivating the Tai Ching Wuji technique, Liu Chengsheng was also engaging in body refinement to strengthen his own physique. The 9 Dragons refinement technique was a heaven-rank mid-grade body refinement method that, when cultivated to the highest realm, could pack the force of 9 flood dragons in a single punch. Liu Chengsheng, having an innate Taoist body, focused primarily on cultivation and secondarily on body refinement. There are benefits to body refinement. If one's physical strength could match that of an innate spirit treasure, one wouldn't be easily injured even if struck by an innate spirit treasure. 3 days passed, and both Lu Changsheng and Lian finished their body refinement, having almost completely absorbed the medicinal strength. Master, your disciple would like to ask you for a small favor, could I? Lian shook Lu Changsheng's arm and blinked her eyes, evidently coming up with some mischievous idea. Speak. Lian wants to go out of the mountain to play. No, to train, just like the senior brothers. Not possible. Then, can Lian go and play on the other peaks of Mount Shu? Lian has grown tired of staying at Qingyan Peak. Please master. Fine. That's great. I knew master would agree. You are so good to Lian. But you must not be reckless, and you are forbidden from going to the back mountain. The back mountain houses the dwellings of the sect leader and the supreme elders. If you stir up trouble, your master won't be able to protect you. Moreover, do not neglect your cultivation due to playing too much. Lu Changsheng appeared troubled on the surface, but his heart was blooming with joy. This energetic little ancestor causing trouble for the other elders of Mount Shu was better than wreaking havoc on Qingyan Peak, right? Hee, Lian will remember. Lian made a face and left the cave dwelling in high spirits. My fellow senior brothers, fend for yourselves. Lu Changsheng murmured to himself, then continued his cultivation of the Taiching Wuji technique. Chapter 31. Ziyu Peak, Elder Zhao Wuyan of Mount Shu's cave abode, where Zhao Wuyan was meditating and cultivating. Zhao Wuyan, an elder of the fifth layer of the Dao Palace realm, held an extremely high status among the elders of Mount Shu. Elders of the Dao Palace realm were the bedrock of Mount Shu, and what's more, Zhao Wuyan had long been famous, ranking among the strong within the elders of the Dao Palace realm. What's with all the hustle and bustle outside the cave abode? Zhao Wuyan frowned, his heart and mind restless, unable to continue meditating and cultivating. Enough, I'll go out and see what has happened. His Ziyu Peak had always been a haven of tranquil years, peaceful and uneventful. When Zhao Wuyan stepped out of the cave abode, the scene before his eyes left him dumbstruck. The immortal cranes of Ziyu Peak had all been plucked of their feathers, and the spirit apes were like startled birds, screeching incessantly. Many Ziyu Peak disciples had been defeated, lying haphazardly on the ground, gasping for air. Bruised and swollen, what has happened here while your teacher was in closed-door cultivation? Zhao Wuyan's face turned dark. His Ziyu Peak looked as if it had been raided by disciples of the demon sects. But this was Mount Shu, how dare the demon sects, disciples run wild here? A disciple struggled to his feet, his face as bitter as a gourd. Master, the junior disciples from Qingyan Peak barged into our Ziyu Peak, insisting on sparring with the disciples. We were no match and got beaten down. Even our spirit beasts from Ziyu Peak weren't spared. Qingyan Peak is bullying our Ziyu Peak too much. Although Lu Changsheng's disciple is freakishly talented, there's no need to show off like this all the time. I am, after all, his senior brother. Zhao Wuyan too was a direct disciple of Taiyuan, the sect leader of Mount Shu, with seniority lower than big brother Li Changye, and higher than junior brother Lu Changsheng. That his junior brother Lu Changsheng's disciple would bully his way to Zhao Wuyan's Ziyu Peak. Zhao Wuyan thought Lu Changsheng had intentionally sent Lian to Ziyu Peak to stir up trouble. I will find him for an explanation. With a thought, Zhao Wuyan's flying sword left its sheath, as he took flight on his sword, heading to Ziyu Peak. Kangshan Peak, an elder of Mount Shu in the nascent soul realm, was meditating in silence. When suddenly he smelled something burning. He was shocked and opened his eyes, only to find his white beard catching fire. Who dares to make fun of me? The Kangshan Peak elder hurriedly put out the fire, his once immortal chi-filled beard now singed and blackened. Shaoju Peak, Dao Palace Realm's fairy Qjngru, clad in a moon-white Taoist robe, graceful and elegant, was calm and collected until she saw the spiritual medicine she had planted for 100 years, used to maintain her youthful appearance, had vanished, causing her to lose all composure. Without that spiritual medicine, should a wrinkle appear on her face, it would be disastrous. Shuiyan Peak, the ancient pine bonsai of Elder Tian Song, was transplanted to the back mountain. Sanqing Peak. For a moment, Mount Shu was in a state of utter chaos. Mount Shu's scripture pavilion, a sly and ghostly figure flitted across the eaves, approaching the fifth level which only the sect leader and supreme elders were permitted to enter. Who dares to intrude into the fifth level of the scripture pavilion? Seize them. Mount Shu's scripture pavilion contained the various cultivation techniques and texts that Mount Shu had accrued over tens of thousands of years. At the 5th level, there were Dao Palace Realm elders guarding it to prevent anyone from the demon sects from trespassing. Not good, I've been discovered. Encased in a prison of drawing. The surrounding space was sealed off, but it was a girl with delicate features. This seems to be a disciple of Elder Lu from Qingyan Peak. So it's her. How should we handle this? The sect leader and the eldest senior brother have ordered that this girl must not be harmed. I think she was just being playful when she trespassed into the scripture pavilion on the back mountain, so a reprimand would suffice, followed by letting her go and forbidding her from returning. 4 elders from the Dao Palace realm who were guarding the scripture pavilion appeared and, after some discussion, did not punish the Qingyan Peak disciple too harshly because the Taiyuan sect leader and Li Changye had forewarned. I won't dare to do it again. Lian stuck out her tongue, genuinely surprised that the impressive pavilion on the back mountain was guarded by 4 Dao Palace realm elders. Even if Lian was still naive, she now understood that this was an important area. No wonder her master had specifically instructed her not to trespass into Mount Shu's back mountain. The back mountain was where the true foundation of Mount Shu lay, with dragons hidden among its tigers. You should leave quickly. Unless one day you become the sect leader or one of the supreme elders of our Shu sect, you will not be permitted to enter the 5th level of the scripture pavilion. The 4 Dao Palace realm elders of Mount Shu waved their hands, signaling Lian to leave the vital area promptly. Thank you, elders, for showing mercy. Lian was also sensible and left quickly. With the presence of 4 Dao Palace realm elders, she could not cause any ruckus at her current level of cultivation. There is a familiar aura, how nostalgic. On the 1st level of the scripture pavilion, a janitor elder felt a familiar aura leave the scripture pavilion, his murky eyes seemingly recalling the past as his movements unconsciously slowed down. The surrounding Mount Shu disciples found nothing strange. Mount Shu had not only a group of elders and disciples but also a large number of servants. These servants were villagers from nearby Mount Shu who received a monthly stipend for doing various chores for the sect. At Qingyan Peak, the place was bustling. Never before had so many Mount Shu elders visited Qingyan Peak. Elder Zhao Wuyan from Ziyu Peak, Fairy Qingru from Shaoju Peak, Fei Ying elder from Kangshan Peak, Tian Song elder from Shuiyan Peak, Lingyu Fairy from Sanqing Peak. Approximately more than a dozen elders had come to inquire and reproach. Among them were 5 Dao Palace realm elders, with the rest being nascent soul realm elders. Now, the master of Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng, was an elder of the Dao Palace realm and the direct disciple of the sect leader Taiyuan. The nascent soul realm elders still didn't dare to question Lu Changsheng, but with 5 of their peers from the Dao Palace realm taking the lead, they were no longer afraid. Moreover, leading them was Elder Zhao Wuyan of Ziyu Peak, another direct disciple of Taiyuan, and one of Lu Changsheng's senior brothers. Why isn't there anyone to receive us? Zhao Wuyan frowned. There were only 2 disciples on Qingyan Peak, one was away on an excursion, and the other was always causing trouble. Neither was present on Qingyan Peak right now, leaving only a bunch of servants. These servants dared not receive a group of furious Mount Shu elders. Fellow seniors and elders, your visit to my Qingyan Peak truly graces this place with your presence. Lu Changsheng came out of his cave dwelling, radiating an aura of immortal qi, his expression warm and cordial, completely unbothered by the fact that he was being questioned by a group of Mount Shu elders. Junior brother, are you aware that your little disciple has caused trouble? Zhao Wuyan held back his anger. He was interested to see how Lu Changsheng would explain this. Lu Changsheng's gaze passed over those present and landed on the elder from Kangshan Peak, whose beard had been singed. He could not help but smile. Without a doubt, this had to be the handiwork of his own disciple. It seemed not all disciples were as worry-free as his eldest disciple, Lin Qingzi. Lian, with the constitution of the martial king divine physique, was full of energy which if not expended, would be detrimental to cultivation. As for how to appease the wrath of the many Mount Shu elders, Lu Changsheng already had a plan. Chapter 32. Your disciple, under the pretext of sparring, injured many of our Ziyu Peak disciples, causing chaos among us with chickens flying and dogs jumping, and numerous spirit beasts living in constant fear. Your disciple burned my beard, a magnificent beard that I had grown for 50 years. Your disciple destroyed the spiritual herbs I had cultivated for 100 years. Your disciple scribbled all over the portrait of this elder and also injured my disciples. A group of Mount Shu elders were filled with righteous indignation. Lu Changsheng's disciple was truly too much trouble. Alas, my disciple is overly lively, and I am helpless in this regard. I hope the elders and fairies will be more accommodating on my behalf. Lu, how you deal with your disciple is your business. Even if she tears down Qingyan Peak, it has nothing to do with our Ziyu Peak. From now on, you must discipline your disciple and not let her leave Qingyan Peak. Zhao Wuyan knew the special identity of Lian, and Lu Changsheng was also his junior fellow, and considering the damage Lian had caused was not that great, as long as Lu Changsheng admitted his mistake and disciplined his disciple from this point forward, Zhao would not pursue it further. Indeed, the elders of each peak must discipline their own disciples and kin. Elder Zhao's words are very true. I hope Elder Lu will strictly discipline his own disciples. The other Mount Shu elders echoed one after another. Ahem, elders, your words are too premature. I cannot suppress my disciple's nature, for that could easily lead to inner demons, which is detrimental to cultivation. I, Lu Changsheng, will not treat the elders unjustly. This is a 5th grade elixir pill, a token of my apology. I hope the elders will be more accommodating in the future. Lu Changsheng took out more than a dozen small jade bottles, each containing a 5th grade elixir pill. With a thought, Lu Changsheng sent these small jade bottles into the hands of the various elders. Fairy Qingru opened a small jade bottle, and the potent strength of the medicine wafted out. Undoubtedly a 5th grade elixir pill. It really is a 5th grade elixir pill, but such compensation is too generous. I feel ashamed to accept it. Elder Lu, how can we accept this? Initially, these Mount Shu elders wanted to scold Lu Changsheng loudly, but what he had given was too much. It was so much that the Mount Shu elders actually started to feel guilty. Despite the chaos Lian caused, it was ultimately a trifling matter that did not cause significant damage to the peaks, and yet Lu Changsheng had given each elder a 5th grade elixir pill. What could they say? My disciple is naturally playful. If the damage she causes in the future exceeds the value of this 5th grade elixir pill, I will compensate the elders separately. Lu Changsheng was generous with high-level elixir pills to win over the many Mount Shu elders, making them feel indebted to him. What are you talking about, Lu? We'll look after your little disciple from now on. As long as there's no loss of life, everything is negotiable. Even Zhao Wuyan's expression softened. Lian's exceptional natural talent was well known. If Mount Shu raised her, she would surely protect Mount Shu in the future. So, letting her wreak a little havoc now seemed like an investment. Moreover, Lu Changsheng had promised to compensate for all the damage caused. Then I thank all the elders and fairies very much. Lu, you're too good to your disciple, willing to use a 5th grade elixir pill as compensation to maintain her natural disposition. She is indeed fortunate to have you as her master in her 3 lifetimes of cultivation. Brother Lu, we shall take our leave. Having received the 5th grade elixir pills, the Mount Shu elders' anger was quelled, and after expressing their feelings, they left satisfied. Fortunately, 5 grade elixir pills are not a big deal for me. Lu Changsheng used some 5 grade elixir pills to get on good terms with many Mount Shu elders, so in the future, even if his disciples caused trouble everywhere, the elders wouldn't have much to say. Master, Lian is back, so tired. Covered in dirt, Lian ran back to Qingyan Peak, stretched languidly, as the abundant energy of the Martial King Divine Physique finally gave out. Very good. Lu Changsheng nodded with satisfaction. The reason he let this disciple cause trouble everywhere was also very important. The more exhausted the Martial King Divine Physique became, the better the effects of the next body refinement would be. It seemed that training this disciple really did cost money. Go wash your face and change into clean clothes. Yes. Lian then ran to the stream on Qingyan Peak to wash his face. The daily routine of cultivating at Qingyan Peak was just like this, nothing out of the ordinary. Several months later, Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao's Mount Shu squad had left Ji country and arrived at Chen country, all the while performing acts of chivalry and accumulating merit. In Chen country, at a mountain god temple, on a night dark and stormy, a golden core realm, 9th layer Mount Shu disciple led the team to hunt down the bandits within the temple. The group of bandits consisted of raper with high cultivation levels practicing evil techniques, who had harmed many virtuous women and were on the wanted list by the Chen country officials. There were 3 Mount Shu disciples in the Golden Core realm, and 3 more in the Qi Transformation Realm, unleashing flying swords and sending sword chi slashing through the air. About a dozen bandits inside the mountain god temple were caught off guard by the sudden attack from the Mount Shu squad and were quickly killed. After a tough fight, all bandits were subdued except for one who escaped using earth escape skills, having been injured before. Fleeing and unlikely to live for long. One escaped. He was already wounded before escaping, he probably won't live long. Even if he manages to survive, the Chen country's royal court will surely capture him. Now that this matter is done, we should return to Mount Shu. After dealing with the bandits at the mountain god temple, the Mount Shu disciples gathered around the campfire to discuss the journey back to Mount Shu. After 1 year of training, the Mount Shu disciples had grown a lot, not just in cultivation but also in experience. Chen Yao sat nearby, hugging her knees, chewing on dry food while casting sidelong glances at her junior brother, Lin Qingzi. Lin Qingzi was meditating, seizing every chance to cultivate. This blockhead, 800 miles away, at a concealed entrance, the escaped raper, badly injured, knelt before a sinister-looking elder. Master, your disciples were ambushed by a group of loose cultivators. All but me were killed, please avenge us, Master. The sinister elder flew into a rage. Who dares to provoke our joyous union sect, one of the 4 great demon sects? They must be tired of living. This, I don't know where they came from, but the highest realm among the ambushers is just the 9th layer of the Golden Core realm. A mere Golden Core realm dares to mess with our joyous union sect, inform all disciples. Follow your teacher to hunt them down. The realm of this joyous union sect elder was at the 2nd layer of the nascent soul realm. And in the joyous union sect, he was among the elders with the least power. But the nascent soul realm was after all the nascent soul realm and was not something for the 9th layer Golden Core realm Mount Shu disciples to compare. In his opinion, leading dozens of disciples to hunt down several Golden Core realm and Qi Transformation realm loose cultivators was as easy as capturing them by hand. At the command of the joyous union sect elder, dozens of Golden Core realm and Qi Transformation realm joyous union sect disciples gathered, fierce and menacing. Meanwhile, on Mount Shu's Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng, who was meditating, opened his eyes. It's time to descend the mountain and help my disciple with his tribulation. Chapter 33. Mount Shu disciples, having completed their year-long mission of trials, returned to Mount Shu. The squad that Lin Qingzi was in was less than 3,000 miles from Mount Shu. Junior brother, your master once divined the future and prophesied that we would encounter a calamity on our way back to Mount Shu, but we're close to Mount Shu now and have been untroubled the whole way. Looks like you've lost this bet, and per our agreement, I can ask you to do one thing that neither defies the heavens nor violates the principles, said Chen Yao, recalling the bet she had with Lin Qingzi a year ago while the Mount Shu disciples were resting during their journey. My master can't be wrong, we must be even more cautious from now on. Lin Qingzi became more cautious the closer they got to Mount Shu. A year ago, Lu Changsheng had calculated that he would face a tribulation. Lin Qingzi activated his Toxuan skills, and his divine sense covered a 10-mile radius. Not good, there's an ambush in this valley. Lin Qingzi's divine sense detected dozens of lurking auras. Clang! The Mount Shu disciples drew their longswords, vigilantly scanning their surroundings. You juniors, how dare you kill the disciples of Wanqi Elder? Prepare to die, exclaimed an old man with a sinister look, leading dozens of joyous union sect disciples to besiege Lin Qingzi and the 5 other Mount Shu disciples from all directions. The Mount Shu disciple who was leading the group blanched when he heard the name of the old man. Oh no, he is Wanqi old demon from the joyous union sect, a nascent soul realm cultivator. The raper we killed at the mountain god temple not long ago was most likely his disciple. The joyous union sect. All of the Mount Shu disciples tensed up. The joyous union sect, although the last of the 4 major demon sects, had elders that were not opponents the average Mount Shu disciples could contend with. Several Mount Shu disciples in the Golden Core realm and Qi Transformation realm facing an elder at the nascent soul realm from the joyous union sect could very well be annihilated. Junior sister, it seems your master was right, we're in trouble. This was Chen Yao's first time facing an opponent at the nascent soul realm. Although her master was a supreme elder of Mount Shu, with unfathomable cultivation, the elder from the joyous union sect was a genuine enemy. Wanqi elder's sinister gaze swept across the Mount Shu disciples, stopping on Chen Yao and he licked his lips. Girl, you are top-notch in both looks and figure. Why not dual cultivate with this old Taoist and ascend to the blissful realm early? I would rather die than fall into your hands. Chen Yao was resolute, already prepared to self-destruct. If a female disciple from the 6 orthodox schools fell into the hands of the Joyous Union sect, it would be a fate worse than death. Senior sister, do not give up hope, we will surely turn peril into safety. Lin Qingzi drew out his green abyss sword, standing protectively in front of Chen Yao, firmly believing that since his master was able to predict his tribulation, his master would certainly come to the rescue. His master was, after all, an immortal cultivating in seclusion at Mount Shu. I believe you. Seeing Lin Qingzi shielding her, Chen Yao felt an inexplicable warmth in her heart. HMPH, no woman who has caught the eyes of this old Taoist has ever escaped. I will make you wish for death, the Wanshi elder sneered, bringing out a black iron ring emitting a terrifying black aura. As the iron ring appeared, the souls of several Mount Shu disciples seemed to be sucked into it. A lower grade acquired spirit treasure, soul-devouring ring. The leading Mount Shu disciple, well read from Mount Shu's scripture pavilion, recognized many of the treasures and techniques commonly used by the 4 major demon sects. The soul-devouring ring was a common treasure used by the elders of the Joyous Union sect, capable of devouring the souls of people and turning them into walking corpses. We must not let the soul-devouring ring touch us, or else with our level of cultivation, we will definitely be controlled by it. It was precisely because they knew how formidable the soul-devouring ring was that the letting Mount Shu disciples were so panicked. Go! The Wanshi elder manipulated the soul-devouring ring, smashing it towards Chen Yao. He was delighted by the hunt, treating this encounter as if he had found a fine vessel. Shocking storm sword skills. The Golden Core Realm 9th level Mount Shu disciple, aware of the critical situation, used all his cultivation, sword chi surging like a tornado, attacking the soul-devouring ring. HMPH, delusional ants shaking a tree, overestimating your abilities. The Wanshi elder also used all his cultivation, immense billows of dark chi flowing into the soul-devouring ring. The soul-devouring ring emitted a psyche-shaking black light, devouring the green sword chi, and ferociously struck the Mount Shu disciple's longsword. Clang! The longsword flew out of hand, and the soul-devouring ring subsequently smashed into the Mount Shu disciple's chest, hitting him like a bolt of lightning, leaving him in a state of spiritual exhaustion. Golden Core Realm 9th level and Nascent Soul Realm 2nd level may seem close, but there is a great boundary between Golden Core and Nascent Soul Realms, akin to the difference between heaven and earth. This sword technique, could it be that you are Mount Shu disciples? Ha ha ha, if that's the case, I can't let you escape, nor let you die easily. The Wanshi elder's realization of these few Mount Shu disciples' identities made his eyes turn even colder. Back in his day as a Joyous Union sect disciple, he barely survived an encounter with a Mount Shu disciple's sword. The 4 great demon sects in Mount Shu have an irreconcilable enmity. Junior brother, let's split up and escape. He will surely pursue me. Then I'll choose to self-destruct, and you escape back to Mount Shu, inform my master, and let her avenge me. Chen Yao secretly transmitted her thoughts to Lin Qingzi, with a resolve to sacrifice herself, only to find a way for Lin Qingzi to survive this calamity. I'm not leaving. Lin Qingzi's reply was simple. Lin Qingzi operated the Tokshuan skills with all his might, the vast spiritual energy circulating rapidly within his zodiac meridians, his momentum reaching its peak. Fool, do you think that with the cultivation of Golden Core Realm 7th level, you have any power in front of an old Taoist like me? Countless orthodox disciples like you have already perished at my hand. The Wanshi elder spoke dismissively, driving the soul-devouring ring to smash fiercely at Lin Qingzi. Once again devouring sword chi, Lin Qingzi's green abyss sword vibrated violently. However, Lin Qingzi gripped the green abyss sword tightly, not taking a single step back, and struck the soul-devouring ring, repelling it. Pooh! Lin Qingzi spat out a mouthful of fresh blood, his face pale, his divine sense severely wounded by the soul-devouring ring. Junior brother, I will fight you to the end, unity of person and sword. Seeing Lin Qingzi severely injured, Chen Yao clenched her teeth tightly. Her skywave sword, behind her emitted a brilliant deep blue light, shooting upwards into the sky. Boom, boom, boom. Dark clouds covered the sky, countless bolts of lightning pouring into the skywave sword, a Medium-grade acquired spirit treasure, making the blade shine like a pillar of light. She did not hesitate to use the Supreme Thunder Command, a technique beyond her own level of cultivation. As your senior sister, how can I let you keep protecting me? Chen Yao looked resolute, ready to face death. To defeat the Wanshi elder and allow Lin Qingzi a chance to escape, she was willing to merge all her spiritual energy, and even her life, into this one sword strike. It is indeed Mount Shu's heaven-rank medium-grade cultivation technique, Supreme Thunder Command. What a pity, if your cultivation were not so low, perhaps I would have had to flee in panic today. But today, you cannot escape the fate of becoming a vessel for the old Taoist. The Wanshi elder was full of confidence. Chen Yao's golden core realm 3rd level cultivation, even with a formidable technique, could not harm him. Chapter 34. Little girl, there's no need to fight to the death. Just as Chen Yao was about to pour all her life force into the Skywave sword, prepared to perish. Together with the Wanshi elder, Lu Chengsheng's voice sounded in her ear. Chen Yao was first stunned, then overjoyed. Lu Chengsheng was Lin Qingzi's master and an elder of the Dao Palace from Mount Shu. Since he had arrived, what could the Joyous Union sect's Wanshi elder amount to? The dazzling brilliance of the Skywave sword gradually dimmed, and Chen Yao also ended her unity of person and sword state, landing beside Lin Qingzi. With just a glance exchanged between them, Chen Yao knew Lin Qingzi had also received a transmission from Lu Changsheng. It seems you've realized that our strengths differ greatly, so you've given up resisting. Ha ha ha, obediently dual cultivate with me, and together we become immortals, wouldn't that be wonderful? The Wanshi elder saw Chen Yao no longer fighting desperately and thought she had resigned to her fate. Master's cultivation is unrivaled in the world, even the disciples of Mount Shu dare not oppose. Master, truly a role model for our generation. Congratulations, Master, on obtaining an exceptional vessel. That Mount Shu disciple is quite a beauty. I wonder if in the future the disciples will have a chance to enjoy her. Ha 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 ha. The disciples of the Joyous Union sect sneered wickedly, flattering and fawning over the Wanshi elder. You are laughing in the face of death. Chen Yao's tone was ice cold. Just with you low-level Mount Shu disciples, how can you make me face death? The Wanshi elder's words came to an abrupt halt, for a figure with the presence of an immortal and the essence of Tao had, unbeknownst to them, appeared beside Lin Qingzi. A sense of extreme danger surged in their hearts. The sneers on the faces of the Joyous Union sect disciples suddenly froze. Master. Lin Qingzi respectfully performed the ritual of master and disciple. Elder Lu. Chen Yao was somewhat excited. Just when all seemed lost, unexpectedly, there was a new turn. That is Elder Lu of Qingyan Peak. Elder Lu stepped into the Dao Palace realm 3 years ago. Since he's here, the Wanshi old demon of the Joyous Union sect is nothing, we're saved. Disciples pay respects to Elder Lu. The other Mount Shu disciples, seeing a glimmer of hope in a desperate situation, were overjoyed. Even the team leader at the 9th layer of the Golden Core realm showed solemn respect towards Lu Changsheng. You're the newly advanced Dao Palace realm's Lu Changsheng. The Wanshi elder, as an elder of the Joyous Union sect and well-informed in intelligence, knew that there was an elder at Mount Shu who had entered the Dao Palace realm 3 years ago. Named Lu Changsheng, the Wanshi elder broke out in a cold sweat. His 2nd layer of the nascent soul realm was no match for Lu Changsheng of the Dao Palace realm. How did it happen that after dealing with the junior, the senior showed up immediately? Escape. The Wanshi elder activated the soul-devouring ring to attack Lu Changsheng and then turned to flee without looking back, regardless of his magical treasures and disciples. When a nascent soul realm faces a Dao Palace realm, fleeing at the first opportunity might grant a slim possibility of survival. Die. Lu Changsheng casually struck with his palm. This palm was all-encompassing and blotted out the sun. Boom. Lu Changsheng's palm struck down, the earth shook, sand flew, stones raced, and trees snapped. The Joyous Union sect elder, the Wanshi old demon, was wiped out with a single palm, merging with the earth. The disciples of the Joyous Union sect who had just been praising the Wanshi elder, now turned pale with shock. Their master had been killed so easily. These Joyous Union sect disciples are now on your hands, not a single one should escape. Lu Changsheng swept a cold glance over the group of Joyous Union sect disciples, who were all petrified. Lu Changsheng rarely made a move, but when he did, it was thorough, leaving no room for future troubles. When Lu Changsheng appeared, he had already communicated with Lin Qingzi through voice. transmission and knew about the ambush. There was no need to capture any Joyous Union sect disciples alive for interrogation since the disciples of Wanshi Old Demon had been killed. Wanshi Old Demon was a low-ranking elder of the Joyous Union sect, and his disciples weren't highly skilled. After Lu Changsheng wiped out the Wanshi Old Demon with a single palm, the remaining Joyous Union sect disciples were executed by the Mount Shu disciples. Some Joyous Union sect disciples tried to use earth escape skills to flee but were trapped and buried alive by Lu Changsheng's palm pressing down on the solid earth, which can be considered as giving them a proper burial. Junior offers his gratitude for Elder Lu's timely rescue. Had Elder Lu not arrived promptly, we would have fallen at the hands of Wanshi Old Demon. The leading Mount Shu disciple bowed in thanks to Lu Changsheng. No need for excessive courtesy. Lu Changsheng was as composed as the clouds and gentle as the breeze. Executing a nascent soul realm elder of the Joyous Union sect was not a big deal for him. Your master really is a prophet, isn't he? He even foresaw this tribulation for us. Could it be that your master's ability to divine the heavens is even greater than that of the Hidden Dragon Temple? Master, Chen Yao whispered to Lin Qingzi. The temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple, one of the 6 orthodox sects, was adept in the time law and famous for divining fate. However, Chen Yao now felt that Lu Changsheng was the true sage hidden from the world. Actually, my master is an immortal, Lin Qingzi stated with conviction. How is that possible? Chen Yao initially didn't believe it, but upon further consideration, it seemed not entirely impossible. Shao, I admit that I lost the bet. You can ask me to do something reasonable. How could I make sister do something? Let's just forget this ever happened. No, a bet is a bet. Well, but, indeed, there's nothing I need sister's help with. Qingzi, keep this favor on hold, it might come in handy one day. With Lu Changsheng's level, it was impossible not to hear the two's conversation. His own disciples still did not understand the importance of favors. If they were disciples of the demon sects, then promises and such favors could be considered nothing but empty words. However, disciples from the orthodox sects, especially those of significant figures, are usually trustworthy with their promises. Then, sister, you owe me for now. Lin Qingzi scratched his head. He really could not think of anything he needed Chen Yao to do. So, following Lu Changsheng's advice, he decided to let the favor remain outstanding. Chen Yao nodded earnestly in agreement. With Lu Changsheng's full protection, the journey back to Mount Shu was unimpeded. When Lin Qing's Mount Shu team returned to Mount Shu, many disciples who had gone out to gain experience had already returned. Shao eliminated 5 Golden Core Realm Heretic Cultivators and 8 Qi Transformation Realm Heretic Cultivators in the past year. He slew countless bandits and rogues, with the highest ranked being a 5th layer Golden Core Realm Heretic Cultivator. Truly, he's a model for our generation. The Mount Shu disciple in charge of tallying the first-time experience mission's results was astonished when going through Xiao Shangdao's achievements. Many Mount Shu disciples who had cultivated for decades had not managed to kill a heretic cultivator of the 5th layer of the Golden Core Realm. It is my shame. Xiao Shangdao was quite satisfied with his results. He should be the top among this batch of disciples. It's you guys. Xiao Shangdao caught sight of Lin Qing, Chen Yao, and their team returning as well. Chen Yao was the second-place winner at the Mount Shu Disciples Convention, and Lin Qing was in the top 8. These were all outstanding individuals among the new generation of disciples. Lin, in the past year, you killed 6 Golden Core Realm Heretic Cultivators and 11 Qi Transformation Realm Heretic Cultivators. The highest ranked among your kills was Sima Kuang, an 8th layer Golden Core Realm bandit leader from Ji Country, Hiss. The Mount Shu disciple summarizing the achievements was deeply shocked by Lin Qing's record of experience. Chapter 35. Lin, did you really kill a Golden Core Realm 8th level bandit? How is that possible? The 8th level of the Golden Core Realm is already close to the standard for our Mount Shu elders. The other Mount Shu disciples who were tallying couldn't believe it and turned their gazes toward the leading Mount Shu disciple. The Golden Core Realm 9th level Mount Shu disciple nodded. Bandit Sima Kuang was indeed personally killed by Lin. I witnessed it with my own eyes, and there is not a shred of exaggeration. Lin, as of now, has reached the 7th level of the Golden Core Realm. Lin has only been in the sect for 4 years, and he's already at the 7th level of the Golden Core Realm. Initially, our master said I was a cultivation genius, but it took me 40 years of practice at Mount Shu to reach the 7th level of the Golden Core realm. I never expected Lin to achieve it. In just 4 years. Compared to Lin, I might as well have wasted those 40 years living a dog's life. Sigh, the difference between people is even greater than that between a person and a dog. If that's really the case, Lin is truly a heaven-sent prodigy, and his future is boundless. Since we are in the same sect, I hope Lin will take good care of us in the future. The crowd of Mount Shu disciples showed solemn respect for Lin Qingzi. Having joined the sect only 4 years ago, Lin Qingzi's cultivation had already neared the minimum requirement to become an elder of Mount Shu. It was estimated that in a few years, as soon as Lin Qingzi's cultivation reached the nascent Soul realm and he completed the Elder One's trial task, he would rightfully become an elder of Mount Shu. Although Lin Qingzi might not be the youngest elder in the history of Mount Shu, his rate of cultivation could definitely rank him within the top 10. A portion of the Mount Shu disciples, seeing Lin Qingzi's frightening potential, spontaneously struck up conversations with him. Many female disciples looked at Lin Qingzi with added interest in their eyes. Even though Lin Qingzi was rather ordinary in appearance, the chance of becoming an elder of Mount Shu was enough to captivate quite a few female disciples. However, Chen Yao standing by Lin Qingzi's side made many female disciples hesitate to approach. Chen Yao was stunningly beautiful and a direct disciple of the Supreme Elders, with a special physique, destined to become an elder of Mount Shu. Not many female disciples could stand next to Chen Yao without feeling overshadowed. How could this guy have already reached the 7th level of the Golden Core realm? Doesn't that make him 2 minor realms higher than me? Xiao Shangdao, endowed with the spirit sword, physique and diligent in his practice, had advanced to the 5th level of the Golden Core realm. During the year-long trial following the Mount Shu Disciples Conference, he thought himself the most outstanding Mount Shu disciple of his generation, but never expected Lin Qingzi's cultivation to have surpassed his own already. I am the 3rd prince of Liang Kingdom. How could I lose to an orphan? I shall cultivate day and night to reclaim the top spot. Xiao Shangdao, discontent in his heart, soared away on his sword, returning to Li Changye 1's Wuyiang Peak. The trial is over, I should return to Bimun Peak and continue my practice with Master. Chen Yao's thought stirred, and the skywave sword behind her unsheathed. Disciple, you will escort her for me. Lu Changsheng, seeing his senior disciple unmoved, urged him on. This was an opportunity to build a relationship with the Supreme Elders of Mount Shu. It might be a chance for his disciple to have a stroke of good fortune. All right, Lin Qingzi took it as a sect mission to escort Chen Yao back to Bimun Peak. In reality, within Mount Shu, there was no need to worry about security, at least for the time being. At Bimun Peak, an old crone leaning on a wooden cane was watering 1,000-year-old medicinal herbs in the medicinal garden. 2 streaks of light fell, one of them speaking with a slightly excited tone, "Master, your disciple has returned from the trial." The old crone responded indifferently. The more one experienced, the calmer one became. Qingyan Peak disciple Lin Qingzi pays respects to the Supreme Elder. I have been tasked by my mentor to escort my fellow sister back to Bimun Peak. Lin Qingzi treated the seemingly ordinary old crone with great respect. The Supreme Elder of Mount Shu, contemporary with the sect leader of Mount Shu, it's uncertain whether this person is the sect leader's senior or junior sister. Having lived to such an age, her cultivation is unfathomably deep. Oh, the old crone turned around, scrutinizing Lin Qingzi from head to toe with a gaze sharp as a knife, but Lin Qingzi remained calm and unshaken. Your Dao Bone, to have such cultivation in less than 20 years, is your master and elder of Qingyan Peak. If I remember correctly, that Lu Changsheng from Qingyan Peak was the last direct disciple taken in by the sect leader's junior brother. His talent couldn't be said to be poor. But neither was he an unparalleled genius. How could he have taught a disciple like you? Indeed, it was the temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple who told my sect leader's junior brother that Lu Changsheng has a predestined fairy connection with our Mount Shu, which is why the sect leader's junior brother took Lu Changsheng as his disciple. The old crone seemed to be conversing with Lin Qingzi, yet also as if talking to herself. Lin Qingzi was secretly astonished. Could it be that this old crone who addressed the Taiyuan real person as the sect leader's junior brother was Taiyuan's senior sister? Wouldn't that mean she's even older than Taiyuan himself? In this world, age and cultivation are greatly correlated for a simple reason: if one's cultivation isn't high, they simply can't live that long. The old crone in front of him must have lived for at least 3,000 years. The junior has fulfilled my master's commands, and now I take my leave, Lin Qingzi said with the utmost respect as he bowed. Chen Yao bit her lip lightly, her eyes twinkling with a mix of brightness and a hint of loss. Young man, did you only come to return my little disciple because of your master's orders? The crone's face suddenly turned serious. The junior. Just as Lin Qingzi was about to give an honest reply, the old crone suddenly transmitted a message to him silently. Smelly brat, if you dare to answer truthfully, I will kill you with one palm, then kill your master. Senior, could it be that the junior has done something wrong? You only need to do as the old crone says. The junior obeys. A chill ran down Lin Qingzi's spine, having heard that the Supreme Elder had given up hope on transcending tribulation and ended her seclusion, concentrating on instructing disciples. With her quirky temper, she truly might kill him and Lu Changsheng in a fit of rage. After the old crone spoke, Lin Qingzi had no choice but to repeat her words. The junior certainly didn't come only to follow the master's orders. I also hope to bring senior sister back myself. Sister Chen, you are welcome to visit Qingyan Peak to exchange pointers with me anytime. Anytime. Chen Yao's face lit up with joy, dispelling her previous sense of loss. Lin Qingzi left Bimun Peak on his flying sword. Alas, how did my disciple come to fancy such a simpleton? She was bound to suffer for it in the future. But youth is wonderful. The old crone, leaning on her wooden staff, seemed to be lost in memories of the past. Upon returning to Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng continued power-infusing initiation upon Lin Qingzi, bestowing upon him various elixir pills, magical treasures, and cultivation techniques. Lin Qingzi had been away from the mountain for a year, and because he hadn't received power infusing initiation from Lu Changsheng during this period, his cultivation improved slowly. Currently still at the 7th level of the Golden Core realm. However, Lin Qingzi had wandered the Zhonghu over the past year, gaining much experience, which would be greatly beneficial to his future cultivation. After all, solitary cultivation without experience would be like building a cart behind closed doors. This is akin to university students who, if they don't venture out into society to struggle, will ultimately find it difficult to become pillars of strength. In addition, Chen Yao, a disciple from Bimun Peak, would occasionally come to visit Qingyan Peak. With Lin Qingzi and Chen Yao to spar with, the energetic Lian finally didn't need to go around causing trouble anymore. Chapter 36. This is a third-rank elixir pill, the superior gather chi pill, one capable of gathering the surrounding nature's spiritual energy, allowing you to temporarily obtain a higher cultivation level. Should you encounter an enemy of a higher realm and are truly unmatched, you may use this. Lu Changsheng summoned his 2 disciples, continuing to exploit the system for benefits. Ding, you have rewarded your disciple, Lin Qingzi, with the 3rd-rank elixir pill, superior gather chi pill, and received a reward of 100,000 times return, an 8th-rank elixir pill, red Emperor Dragon Strength pill. Ding, remaining number of rewards today -1. 100,000 times return. This was the second time in 3 years that Lu Changsheng had encountered 100,000 times return, as well as the second 8th-rank elixir pill. The value of an 8th-rank elixir pill far surpassed that of 6th and 7th-rank elixir pills. It's worth immeasurable. Even in Mount Shu, Lu Changsheng had never seen an 8th-rank elixir pill. Inside Lu Changsheng's Taoist robe appeared a purple gold bagua gourd, no bigger than a fist, containing only 1 elixir pill, but it was a globally rare 8th-rank elixir pill. An 8th-rank elixir pill, something that would move even the 6 major righteous Tao and the 4 great demon sects. Without a change in expression, Lu Changsheng rewarded his younger disciple Lian with another elixir pill. Ding, you have rewarded your disciple Lian with the 3rd-rank elixir pill, concentration pill, and received a reward of 150 times return, a 5th-rank elixir pill, ice heart spirit, concentration pill, closing square bracket. Ding, remaining number of rewards today -1. This time, the 3rd-rank elixir pill rewarded a 5th-rank elixir pill. This was a more normal return. As for the 100,000 times return, one could only say it was fortunate but elusive. According to the rules of the Disciple Apprenticeship Simulator, disciples below the nascent soul realm can be rewarded with 3rd rank or lower elixir pills, profound rank cultivation techniques, yellow rank cultivation techniques, and spiritual artifacts. Once a disciple reaches the nascent soul realm, they can be rewarded with 5th rank or lower. Elixir pills, earth rank cultivation techniques, and acquired spirit treasures. When a disciple reaches the Tao Palace realm, they can be rewarded with 7th rank or lower. Elixir pills, heaven rank cultivation techniques, and innate spirit treasures. Although his 2 disciples were still in the Golden Core realm, they were only a few years away from the nascent soul realm. In less than 10 years, to become an elder of Mount Shu, such a speed of cultivation was incredibly fast. I have an extra concentration pill here, and I'll reward it to you. Seeing Chen Yao coming to seek out his disciples for an exchange, Lu Chengsheng casually gave away a 3rd rank elixir pill. Lu Chengsheng was not short of elixir pills. A casual 5th rank elixir pill could be exchanged for a 183rd rank elixir pills at the elixir pavilion of Mount Shu. Chen Yao often visited Qingyan Peak as a guest, exchanging pointers with Lin Qingzi and Lian, and occasionally receiving Lu Chengsheng's rewards and guidance. With Chen Yao's 9 heavens mysterious lady physique, she fully met the disciple apprenticeship simulator's requirements for a disciple's aptitude. Regrettably, Chen Yao had already been taken as a disciple by the supreme elders of Mount Shu, and would not easily switch sects. However, Lu Chengsheng did not mind, as such a reward was trivial for him, akin to a hare from 9 oxen, not as good as giving a favor in passing. Cultivation was not just about fighting and killing. Behind Chen Yao stood the supreme elders of Mount Shu, with unfathomably deep cultivation. And this was also a way to curry favor with that side. Senior Lu, how can I accept this? Chen Yao was flattered and surprised. When she came to Qingyan Peak to find Lin Qingzi, she realized that Lu Chengsheng often rewarded his disciples with treasures and elixir pills, and she too was included on occasion, making her feel rather embarrassed. In this world, there indeed were such generous people. He really is a strange, good person indeed. This is your compensation for sparring with my disciple. Lu Chengsheng didn't care at all. He already had 2 profound rank elixir pills, and as for a 3rd rank elixir pill, Lu Chengsheng didn't really value it. Lu Chengsheng returned to his cave abode and opened the purple gold bagua gourd he had obtained. A massive surge of medicinal power gushed out, and just a hint of the power that leaked made every pore on Lu Chengsheng's body expand, bringing an indescribable comfort to his heart, as if he had stepped into a fairyland. No wonder it's a profound rank elixir pill, the medicinal power is so astonishing. With my current cultivation, if I were to swallow this elixir pill, I'm afraid I would immediately explode and die. Lu Chengsheng felt the astonishing medicinal power of the profound rank elixir pill and quickly plugged the purple gold bagua gourd back up to prevent the power from leaking out. According to the system display, the Red Emperor Dragon Strength Pill, a profound rank elixir pill, refined from a drop of the Red Emperor's imperial blood and a drop of a true dragon's blood, could grant the user an unprecedented immense strength, but if the user's cultivation and physique weren't strong enough, they would undoubtedly be burst by this power. Lu Chengsheng knew that this was a divine-level elixir pill used for saving one's life in the face of a powerful enemy. If facing a foe of a higher realm, he could completely fight beyond his own level by consuming the pill. Lu Chengsheng placed the purple gold bagua gourd into the Tao Palace minor realm, together with the 9 heavens imperial thunder sword. I can break through to the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm at any time now. Lu Chengsheng had accumulated a huge reserve of power, and besides cultivating, he was also refining his body. Otherwise, after numerous power-infusing initiations and returning cultivation, Lu Chengsheng's realm would have already reached the 6th level of the Tao Palace realm. However, the benefits of his thorough accumulation were quite clear. Lu Chengsheng's physique was not inferior to the martial masters of the martial alliance, and it was hard to find an equal within the same realm. Moreover, Lu Chengsheng would not easily suffer from chi deviation when breaking through, because every realm of his was extremely solid. In the span of 4 years, from the 9th level of the nascent soul realm to the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm, and concurrently refining his body, such progress was shocking and astonishing. I'll be entering seclusion for some time, you should cultivate on your own during this period. Lu Chengsheng transmitted his voice to his 2 disciples. In a year there will be the 6th Tao Conference, and it's very likely that I'll have to spar with elders from other sects. Who would think that by that time, I'll be at the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm and have also cultivated the 9 Dragons Refinement Technique. However, unless it's absolutely necessary, I cannot easily reveal my true cultivation, as my goal is to survive until I become an immortal. When Lu Changsheng entered into closed-door cultivation, Lin Qingzi and Lian were not surprised. In the past 4 years, their master would enter seclusion every now and then, and what realm the master had reached was unknown to them. What amazed Lin Qingzi was that, despite bestowing power-infusing initiations frequently, the master's cultivation not only didn't decline but improved day by day. Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, Misty Peak, clouds and mist swirling around, the mountain breeze coming forth, the white clouds moving like soft and delicate silk. A flock of immortal cranes flew by, the mountains had running streams and hanging waterfalls, craggy rocks abounded, looking like a fairyland. An ethereally beautiful fairy with ice-clear skin and a jade-like body, dressed in floating garments, stepped barefoot onto the lake surface, which quickly froze over. The entire surface of the lake became like a shiny mirror, and even time seemed to freeze. Disciple, you're the most talented one I have seen, and only the immortal who founded our Inquiry Immortal Pavilion 20,000 years ago can compare with you. However, you are cultivating the supreme forgetting emotion art and walking the Tao of longevity. All other cultivators, including me, are just passing clouds to you, and you must not develop feelings. During the 6th Tao Conference a year from now, you will teach the juniors of Mount Shu a lesson. For me, I want to see the embarrassed look on that Mount Shu Taiyuan old man's face. A beautiful yet icy voice rang out, belonging to the Fairy Pavilion Master. Not to develop feelings, disciple understands. I have a question to ask. Shanning Shui's mind wavered, and the lake rapidly thawed. The waterfall restored its flow, leaving only the ice under Sha Ning Shui's jade-white feet. Speak. If Master is also cultivating the supreme forgetting emotion art and should sever all worldly greed, hatred, delusion, arrogance, and doubt, why are you so fixated on the victory or defeat with the Taiyuan real man from Mount Shu? Chapter 37. Above Qingyan Peak, purple clouds lingered, yet the menial workers had long since grown accustomed to the sight. In the past few years, Qingyan Peak had witnessed several natural wonders, and the person behind these phenomena was none other than the elder of Qingyan Peak, Lu Changsheng. 5th level of the Tao Palace realm. Inside the cave dwelling, Lu Changsheng was sitting cross-legged on a meditation cushion, with a stream of white vapor rising from the top of his head, constantly expanding the Tao Palace minor realm within him, making a breakthrough to the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm in one breath. Due to his solid foundation, Lu Changsheng encountered no obstacles, advancing as naturally as water flows into channels. I have also thoroughly understood the 5th level of the Taiching Wuji technique. After Lu Changsheng stepped into the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm, he had fully comprehended the 5th level of the Taiching Wuji technique. Lu Changsheng calculated with his fingers and realized that his seclusion had unexpectedly lasted 2 months. The first thing Lu Changsheng did after coming out of seclusion was to summon his 2 disciples, continuing the power-infusing initiation. Having entered the 5th level of the Tao Palace realm, Lu Changsheng's Dantian and Qi Si, along with his Tao Palace minor realm, had expanded enormously, allowing him to hold more spiritual energy. Ding, you have transferred 200 days of heavenly cultivation to your disciple, Lian, who has actually received 40 days of heavenly cultivation. You have received a reward of 100. Tenfold return for teaching your disciple, 4,400 days of heavenly cultivation. Having just transferred a small amount of cultivation, Lian's little face was already beet red. Ding, you have transferred 180 days of heavenly cultivation to your disciple, Lin Qingzi, who has actually received 36 days of heavenly cultivation. You have received a reward of 150-fold return for teaching your disciple, 5,400 days of heavenly cultivation. Lu Changsheng received a total of 9,800 days of heavenly cultivation from 2 instances of imparting his power. The recently advanced Lu Changsheng's Dantian and Qi Si once again swelled with copious spiritual energy, and his Tao Palace minor realm grew. Junior brother, senior brother. Lu Changsheng was teaching his disciples as usual when his senior brother, Li Changye, suddenly came to visit. The sect leader commands, at the 6 Paths Conference, you are to bring Lian with you. Understood. Lian, follow your master to the 6 Paths Conference. As for Qingzi, you stay behind to guard Qingyan Peak. Disciple obeys the order. Great, Lian finally gets to leave the mountain. Lian punched the air excitedly. She had stayed on Mount Shu for 4 years and was at last allowed to leave. With Mount Shu's sect leader and senior brother leading, there probably won't be any danger at this Six Paths Conference. The 4 demon sects and the demon race of Huang State already knew of Lian's presence on Mount Shu, but because Mount Shu had such a profound foundation, neither the demon sects nor the demon race of Huang State dared to act rashly. Li Chengyi's decision to bring Lian to the Six Paths Conference, could it be? Lu Chengsheng pondered silently, then suddenly his eyes lit up. He had guessed Li Chengyi's intention. Before the Six Paths Conference begins, let's see if I can comprehend the 6th level of the Taiching Wuji technique. Lu Chengsheng continued his cultivation. Each seclusion, whether short as a few days or as long as several months, Lu Chengsheng remained committed to accumulating gains, and soon it was time for the Six Paths Conference. The Six Paths Conference was the premier event for the cultivation world of Sha State, with all 6 righteous sect leaders and famed elders in attendance to address the major issues occurring in Sha State. At the same time, the 6 righteous sects would use this opportunity to decide the ranking of the sects. Although the 6 righteous sects still had some powerful elders anchoring them, the younger generation of elders represented the future of the sects. Therefore, the potential of the young generation of elders could generally stand for the strength of a sect. Of the Mount Shu sect, elders in the Dao Palace realm like Li Changye, Zhao Wuyan, and Lu Changsheng were direct disciples taken by Supreme Elder Taiyuan in the past 500 years, and were considered part of the younger generation. Master, we should set off now. Lian, unable to wait any longer, rushed to Lu Chengsheng's cave dwelling to urge him on. Lu Chengsheng awoke from his meditation, shook his head, and chuckled bitterly. The Taiching Wuji technique is divided into 9 levels, each level more profound and difficult to comprehend than the last. Lu Chengsheng broke through to the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm and it took him several months, yet he had not fully comprehended the 6th level of the Taiching Wuji technique. If Taiyuan Zhenren knew that Lu Chengsheng wanted to master the 6th level of the Taiching Wuji technique in just a few months, he would definitely think Lu Chengsheng had gone mad. This is a top-tier heaven rank technique after all. Let's go. Lu Chengsheng waved his sleeve, and a gentle breeze arose, wrapping around the 2 of them as they headed to the Mount Shu Great Hall for the assembly. This time, there were 72 elders from Mount Shu participating in the 6th Dao Grand Assembly, with the highest cultivation among them belonging to the eldest senior brother, Li Changye, at the 9th level of the Dao Palace realm. Of course, the cultivation of Taiyuan Zhenren, who led the team, was unfathomable, having long since broken through the Dao Palace realm. With the sect leader and 72 elders, such a squad was powerful enough to easily annihilate any secular kingdom, even the great Sha kingdom of Sha State, with its most populous nation, would not be able to withstand this force. One by one, flying swords broke through the sky. The people practicing sword flight were inhaling and exhaling nature's spiritual energy, like whales and dragons, all of them elders with profound levels of cultivation. Junior brother pays his respects to eldest senior brother. Zhao, it's been a long time. Qian junior brother, you've been in seclusion for quite a while, unexpected to see you're out for this occasion. The 6th Dao Grand Assembly is the premier event of Sha State, with the sect leader and eldest senior brother personally leading the team. How could I miss it? Lu junior brother, and Lu junior brother's little disciple. The elders present changed colors upon noticing Lu Chengsheng and Lian arrive, with many elders turning pale and others hurriedly protecting their beards. Lu Chengsheng's little disciple was simply a little devil, causing chaos throughout Mount Shu. Yet neither the sect leader nor the eldest senior brother ever punished her, which led to many of the elders' beards being secretly burned by Lian. Aside from the supreme elders in the back mountains, other elders had more or less been plagued by this little ancestor, and they were quite afraid of her. Disciple, all the elders represent. As a junior, shouldn't you be paying your respects to the elders? Mount Shu disciple Lian pays respects to all the elders. Lian performed her salutations demurely, looking both charming and adorable, but the elders of Mount Shu all got goosebumps at the sight of this little devil. What scene that would be when Lian becomes a Mount Shu elder of the same status as them. Eldest senior brother, Zhao. Lu junior brother. Lu Chengsheng greeted elders such as Li Changye and Zhao Wuyan. Li Changye, at the 9th level of the Dao Palace realm, and Zhao Wuyan, at the 5th level. These elders were all direct disciples of Taiyuan Zhenren and held esteemed statuses among the Mount Shu elders. Lu Junior brother, your cultivation has improved again. It's unbelievable. Just 5 years ago, Lu Junior brother had just stepped into the Dao Palace realm. And now, after 5 years, I can't even ascertain the extent of Lu Junior brother's cultivation. Zhao Wuyan, as Lu Changsheng's senior brother, although his own disciples were defeated by Lu Changsheng's disciples at the Mount Shu assembly, losing all face, surprisingly, the relationship between the two was quite good. Besides senior brother Li Changye, the elder from Mount Shu who got along best with Lu Changsheng was Zhao Wuyan. I've had some flashes of insight recently. Lu Changsheng also feared others would be amazed at how quickly his cultivation had advanced. So he attributed it to sudden enlightenment. Legend has it that those with heavenly fate could be mortals at dawn and ascend to the immortal realm by dusk. I truly envy you. Zhao Wuyan was sincerely envious of Lu Changsheng. Enlightenment was an opportunity that could only be encountered and not sought after. The sect leader has arrived. All the Mount Shu elders fell silent as they saw an old man dressed in a yin-yang Taiji Dao robe, and an old woman leaning on a wooden cane, having appeared in the middle of the great hall. Without anyone noticing. Chapter 38. Disciple pays respects to the sect leader. Disciple pays respects to the supreme elders. Once Taiyuan Zhenren and the unknown old crone appeared, a group of Mount Shu elders respectfully bowed. Senior sister, I'm leading a delegation to the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion to attend the Six Paths Assembly. Mount Shu will be in your care. Taiyuan Zhenren also spoke with great respect to the old crone. Senior sister. The Mount Shu elders present were astonished in their hearts. The unknown old crone was actually the sect leader's senior sister. If Taiyuan Zhenren had lived for over 3,000 years, then the old crone's lifespan must be no less than that of Taiyuan Zhenren. By the time the old crone had made a name for herself, the younger generation of Mount Shu elders had not even been born. During this period, Mount Shu will be entrusted to this old body. I have no hope for tribulation, and my lifespan is coming to an end. This is one of the few contributions I can make for Mount Shu. The old crone sighed. Taiyuan Zhenren, as well as all the Mount Shu elders, showed solemn respect. This supreme elder, knowing she had no hope of overcoming tribulation, still focused on Mount Shu's well-being at the verge of death. She ended her seclusion, accepted Chen Yao as an extraordinary talent into her disciple lineage, as her final disciple, to leave a legacy. What a noble character. Senior sister. This old body's cultivation is not refined, everything is fate, go ahead. Yes. Taiyuan Zhenren bowed to the old crone and then led the team away from Mount Shu. Flying swords broke through the sky, with colorful lights flowing, flying towards Misty Peak, where the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was located. The mortals below could only see streaks of light flying over their heads, mistaking them for signs of immortals. They all bowed in veneration and worship. Lu Changsheng, within the group of hurrying Mount Shu elders, covertly assessed the foundation of Mount Shu. The depth of Taiyuan Zhenren's cultivation was inscrutable, and not even Lu Changsheng could see through it. The person with the next highest cultivation was his senior brother, Li Changye, who was at the 9th layer of the Dao Palace realm and possessed the eternal wilderness body. Lu Changsheng suspected that even if Li Changye were to encounter an early-stage opponent from the void refinement realm, he would be capable of fighting. After all, rumors in Mount Shu spoke of Li Changye once standing against 3 of the same realm from the demon sects, slaying 3 demon sects elders. Li Changye had some similarities with Lu Changsheng, as both of them were exceptionally firm in every realm they reached. Furthermore, with special physiques, they were even more formidable than the cultivators of the same realm. Apart from Li Changye, who was recognized as the foremost among the younger generation of Mount Shu elders, there were also 5 elders who had achieved great accomplishment in the Dao Palace realm. There were about a dozen elders, including Lu Changsheng and Zhao Wuyan, who were in the mid-stage of the Dao Palace realm. The rest were either in the early stage of the Dao Palace realm or at the culmination of the nascent soul realm. This was just a portion of Mount Shu's strength, indicating the fearsome depth of its foundation. Taiyuan Zhenren even felt assured to entrust Mount Shu to his senior sister for guardianship. The foundation of Mount Shu could not be so simple. Lu Changsheng learned from Lian that there were 4 Dao Palace realm elders secretly guarding the 5th level of the scripture pavilion in Mount Shu, and these 4 Dao Palace realm. Elders were not among those who descended from the mountain this time. Master, is the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion a lot of fun? Lian was brimming with excitement. I have heard that the Fairy Pavilion Master once had a dispute with our sect leader in there. Youth, you must not cause trouble in the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, otherwise even I won't be able to protect you. In Mount Shu, Taiyuan Zhenren, Li Changye, and even Lu Changsheng would let Lian cause trouble wherever she wanted. But this time, in the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's domain, if the Fairy Pavilion Master were to catch a handle on her, the situation could either be trivial or severe. That the Fairy Pavilion Master had a past dispute with Taiyuan Zhenren when they were young indicated that the two were contemporaries. Lian understands. This little disciple also knew that the Fairy Pavilion Master was a significant figure not to be provoked, and she became much more restrained. The Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was located at Misty Peak in Yu Country, covering 10,000 miles, with countless mountains rising high, piercing the clouds, shrouded in mist. Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is one of the 6 righteous paths, currently ranked 5th, yet 200,000 years ago, at its founding, it once surpassed Mount Shu. Even if Inquiry Immortal Pavilion has fallen from grace, it still possesses the heritage of 200,000 years. This time, the sect meeting of the 6 paths is to be hosted by the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. 2. Prepare for the event. All disciples of the sect have been mobilized, creating an extraordinarily lively atmosphere. The last sect meeting was on Mount Shu, 1,500 years ago. The Pavilion Master contended with the sect leader of Mount Shu, and in 3 battles faced 3 defeats. Now that it's our turn to host, we must reclaim our honor, someone declared. Shush, have you forgotten? The elders forbid us disciples from mentioning this matter. If the Pavilion Master overhears us, we'll undoubtedly be punished, another cautioned. Disciples of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion whispered among themselves while preparing the venue for the sect meeting. The people from Mount Shu have arrived. Such formidable momentum, worthy of being the current first among the 6 righteous paths. No one knew which disciple shouted first, but as all from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion looked towards the sky above Misty Peak, they saw a group of elders from Mount Shu approaching on their flying swords. Mount Shu. On the main seat of the sect meeting, the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion whispered those 2 words. Beneath the Pavilion Master, a host of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion elders rose to their feet, greeting the arriving Mount Shu elders with equal ceremony. A group of Mount Shu elders descended, every one of them with the bearing of a sage and carrying a longsword on their backs. Taiyuan stood still, like an immeasurable mountain, causing most of Inquiry Immortal Pavilions elders to feel a sense of helplessness in their hearts. Taiyuan, a man who dominated an era. In the past, the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, relying on her exceptional talents, challenged Taiyuan and was defeated in all 3 battles. Fairy Su, how have you been recently? Taiyuan took the initiative to speak. HMPH, both of us are old folks who have lived for 3,000 years. I'm hardly any fairy, the Pavilion Master replied with a cold tone. Yet, Lu Changsheng faintly sensed that the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion did not seem to dislike the title Taiyuan used for her. Lu Changsheng gazed at the main seat and saw an elegant fairy with the face of a goose egg, fine eyebrows, a delicate nose, and wearing a moon-colored Taoist robe. The Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was actually a woman. Lu Changsheng's gaze shifted slightly downward. Near the closest seat to the Pavilion Master, he saw a figure of extraordinary grace and extreme beauty, carrying a longsword on her back. Their gazes met in midair, and they nodded to each other in acknowledgement. It was Shaning Shui, the Holy Maiden of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Shaning Shui's seat was only second to the Pavilion Master, which spoke volumes about her status. Lu, have you ever heard of a certain secret within our Mount Shu? Zhao Wuyan conveyed secretly to Lu Changsheng. I would like to hear the details, Lu responded. Could it be that the earnest elder Zhao also had a moment for gossip? Lu Changsheng's passion for gossip was thoroughly ignited. It is said that back when Fairy Su of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was not the Pavilion Master, she pursued our master, but her love went unrequited. In a fit of pique, she cultivated Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's forbidden technique, supreme forgetting love art, vowing to sever all romantic ties. Yet, for 3,000 years, she has remained entangled with our sect leader, Zhao revealed. Is that so? Lu Changsheng suddenly understood. No wonder the relationship between the Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion and Taiyuan was so complicated. The secret shared by Zhao Wuyan was likely true. Ahem, nonetheless, you must keep this matter a secret from others. Understood. Lu Changsheng conveyed his comprehension with a look. The Temple Master of Hidden Dragon Temple and a host of elders have arrived. Not long after the people from Mount Shu reached Misty Peak, the party from Hidden Dragon Temple, another one of the 6 righteous paths, also descended on Misty Peak. Chapter 38. Disciple pays respects to the sect leader. Disciple pays respects to the supreme elders. Once Taiyuan Zhenren and the unknown old crone appeared, a group of Mount Shu elders respectfully bowed. Senior sister, I'm leading a delegation to the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion to attend the 6 paths. Assembly. Mount Shu will be in your care. Taiyuan Zhenren also spoke with great respect to the old crone. Senior sister. The Mount Shu elders present were astonished in their hearts. The unknown old crone was actually the sect leader's senior sister. If Taiyuan Zhenren had lived for over 3,000 years, then the old crone's lifespan must be no less than that of Taiyuan Zhenren. By the time the old crone had made a name for herself, the younger generation of Mount Shu elders had not even been born. During this period, Mount Shu will be entrusted to this old body. I have no hope for tribulation, and my lifespan is coming to an end. This is one of the few contributions I can make for Mount Shu. The old crone sighed. Taiyuan Zhenren, as well as all the Mount Shu elders, showed solemn respect. This supreme elder, knowing she had no hope of overcoming tribulation, still focused on Mount Shu's well-being at the verge of death. She ended her seclusion, accepted Chen Yao as an extraordinary talent into her disciple lineage, as her final disciple, to leave a legacy. What a noble character. Senior sister, this old body's cultivation is not refined, everything is fate, go ahead. Yes. Taiyuan Zhenren bowed to the old crone and then led the team away from Mount Shu. Flying swords broke through the sky, with colorful lights flowing, flying towards Misty Peak, where the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was located. The mortals below could only see streaks of light flying over their heads, mistaking them for signs of immortals. They all bowed in veneration and worship. Lu Changsheng, within the group of hurrying Mount Shu elders, covertly assessed the foundation of Mount Shu. The depth of Taiyuan Zhenren's cultivation was inscrutable, and not even Lu Changsheng could see through it. The person with the next highest cultivation was his senior brother, Li Changye, who was at the 9th layer of the Dao Palace realm and possessed the eternal wilderness body. Lu Changsheng suspected that even if Li Changye were to encounter an early-stage opponent from the void refinement realm, he would be capable of fighting. After all, rumors in Mount Shu spoke of Li Changye once standing against 3 of the same realm from the demon sects, slaying 3 demon sects elders. Li Changye had some similarities with Lu Changsheng, as both of them were exceptionally firm in every realm they reached. Furthermore, with special physiques, they were even more formidable than the cultivators of the same realm. Apart from Li Changye, who was recognized as the foremost among the younger generation of Mount Shu elders, there were also 5 elders who had achieved great accomplishment in the Dao Palace realm. There were about a dozen elders, including Lu Changsheng and Zhao Wuyan, who were in the mid-stage of the Dao Palace realm. The rest were either in the early stage of the Dao Palace realm or at the culmination of the nascent Soul realm. This was just a portion of Mount Shu's strength, indicating the fearsome depth of its foundation. Taiyuan Zhenren even felt assured to entrust Mount Shu to his senior sister for guardianship. The foundation of Mount Shu could not be so simple. Lu Changsheng learned from Lian that there were 4 Dao Palace realm elders secretly guarding the 5th level of the scripture pavilion in Mount Shu, and these 4 Dao Palace realm elders were not among those who descended from the mountain this time. Master, is the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion a lot of fun? Lian was brimming with excitement. I have heard that the Fairy Pavilion Master once had a dispute with our sect leader in their youth. You must not cause trouble in the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, otherwise even I won't be able to protect you. In Mount Shu, Taiyuan Zhenren, Li Changye, and even Lu Changsheng would let Lian cause trouble wherever she wanted. But this time, in the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's domain, if the Fairy Pavilion Master were to catch a handle on her, the situation could either be trivial or severe. That the Fairy Pavilion Master had a past dispute with Taiyuan Zhenren when they were young indicated that the two were contemporaries. Lian understands. This little disciple also knew that the Fairy Pavilion Master was a significant figure not to be provoked, and she became much more restrained. The Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was located at Misty Peak in New Country, covering 10,000 miles, with countless mountains rising high, piercing the clouds, shrouded in mist. Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is one of the 6 righteous paths, currently ranked 5th, yet 200,000 years ago, at its founding, it once surpassed Mount Shu. Even if Inquiry Immortal Pavilion has fallen from grace, it still possesses the heritage of 200,000 years. This time, the sect meeting of the 6 paths is to be hosted by the Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. To prepare for the event, all disciples of the sect have been mobilized, creating an extraordinarily lively atmosphere. The last sect meeting was on Mount Shu, 1,500 years ago. The pavilion master contended with the sect leader of Mount Shu, and in 3 battles faced 3 defeats. Now that it's our turn to host, we must reclaim our honor, someone declared. Shush, have you forgotten? The elders forbid us disciples from mentioning this matter. If the pavilion master overhears us, we'll undoubtedly be punished, another cautioned. Disciples of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion whispered among themselves while preparing the venue. For the sect meeting, the people from Mount Shu have arrived. Such formidable momentum, worthy of being the current first among the 6 righteous paths. No one knew which disciple shouted first, but as all from Inquiry Immortal Pavilion looked towards the sky above Misty Peak, they saw a group of elders from Mount Shu approaching on their flying swords. Mount Shu. On the main seat of the sect meeting, the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion whispered those 2 words. Beneath the pavilion master, a host of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion elders rose to their feet, greeting the arriving Mount Shu elders with equal ceremony. A group of Mount Shu elders descended, every one of them with the bearing of a sage and carrying a longsword on their backs. Taiyuan stood still, like an immeasurable mountain, causing most of Inquiry Immortal Pavilions elders to feel a sense of helplessness in their hearts. Taiyuan, a man who dominated an era. In the past, the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, relying on her exceptional talents, challenged Taiyuan and was defeated in all 3 battles. Fairy Su, how have you been recently? Taiyuan took the initiative to speak. HMPH, both of us are old folks who have lived for 3,000 years. I'm hardly any fairy, the pavilion master replied with a cold tone. Yet, Lu Changsheng faintly sensed that the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion did not seem to dislike the title Taiyuan used for her. Lu Changsheng gazed at the main seat and saw an elegant fairy with the face of a goose egg, fine eyebrows, a delicate nose, and wearing a moon-colored Taoist robe. The pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was actually a woman. Lu Changsheng's gaze shifted slightly downward. Near the closest seat to the pavilion master, he saw a figure of extraordinary grace and extreme beauty, carrying a longsword on her back. Their gazes met in midair, and they nodded to each other in acknowledgement. It was Shaning Shui, the holy maiden of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. Shaning Shui's seat was only second to the pavilion master, which spoke volumes about her status. Lu, have you ever heard of a certain secret within our Mount Shu? Zhao Wuyan conveyed secretly to Lu Changsheng. I would like to hear the details, Lu responded. Could it be that the earnest elder Zhao also had a moment for gossip? Lu Changsheng's passion for gossip was thoroughly ignited. It is said that back when Fairy Su of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was not the pavilion master, she pursued our master, but her love went unrequited. In a fit of pique, she cultivated Inquiry Immortal Pavilion's forbidden technique, supreme forgetting love art, vowing to sever all romantic ties. Yet, for 3,000 years, she has remained entangled with our sect leader, Zhao revealed. Is that so? Lu Changsheng suddenly understood. No wonder the relationship between the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion and Taiyuan was so complicated. The secret shared by Zhao Wuyan was likely true. Ahem, nonetheless, you must keep this matter a secret from others. Understood. Lu Changsheng conveyed his comprehension with a look. The temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple and a host of elders have arrived. Not long after the people from Mount Shu reached Misty Peak, the party from Hidden Dragon Temple, another one of the 6 righteous paths, also descended on Misty Peak. Chapter 39. Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master Yu Xuanji, and her premier head disciple, Zhu Changming. The Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master is also a great figure from the same era as our sect leader. It's said that the temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple can calculate a person's chi destiny, which is indeed incomparable in its power. Sometimes, even our sect leader seeks her out for predictions of the heavenly secrets. The elders of Mount Shu and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion all looked towards the descending hidden Dragon Temple's temple master and elder. Lu Changsheng had never imagined that the Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master would be a woman veiled in a mask. Hidden Dragon Temple's premier head disciple Zhu Changming had represented Hidden Dragon Temple at Mount Shu's Disciples' Great Assembly, where Lu Changsheng had already met him once before. Yu Xuanji was a renowned figure who had been famous for 3,000 years, while Zhu Changming was a peerless genius of the same level as the big senior brother Li Changye, each a prominent young representative of their respective sects. Hidden Dragon Temple emphasizes strategy, inference, and military tactics, which differ from the focus of our Mount Shu and Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. In other words, these people have first-rate minds and must not be offended lightly. Zhao Wuyan and Lu Changsheng exchanged messages in secret. What does the Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master look like? There are very few who have seen the face under the temple master of Hidden Dragon Temple's veil. Zhao Wuyan shook his head, clearly he also knew nothing. Fellow Taoists, time flies, and glory fades. In the blink of an eye, it has been 200 years since we last met. Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master Yu Xuanji spoke in a gentle tone, which felt as refreshing as a spring breeze. Only the true person of Taiyuan and the Fairy Pavilion Master were worthy of being addressed as fellow Taoists by Yu Xuanji. The last time Master Yu made a prediction for me, to be precise, was 250 years ago. Yes, at that time based on my calculations, I said your disciple had great fortune. Yu Xuanji looked towards Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng feigned composure. The original Lu Changsheng had gone mad from cultivation and died. Now, this Lu Changsheng, based on the memories of this body, knew that 200 years ago, Hidden Dragon Temple's temple master Yu Xuanji had divined that Lu Changsheng was destined for an immortal fate with Mount Shu, hence recommended him to the true person of Taiyuan. Now it seemed that the original Lu Changsheng was just an unlucky fellow, while the one truly blessed with great fortune was himself. Master Yu, please take a seat. The pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion was also very courteous to the arriving Yu Xuanji. After all, Yu Xuanji was famous for calculating the heavenly secrets, and such a person could not be offended. Rather, one must seek good relations with them. As for the true person of Taiyuan, he was left aside by the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion. The true person of Taiyuan did not take offense and led the people of Mount Shu to their seats. Although the pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion did not speak, the true person of Taiyuan was well aware of the other's haughty nature. Now that a disaster looms over Sha State, it would be best for the two fellow Taoists to quickly put aside past grievances. The events of those years, nobody expected such outcomes. Yu Xuanji's tone remained calm, showing not the slightest trace of emotion. Lu Changsheng quietly observed Yu Xuanji's cultivation, completely unable to discern her true capabilities. The pavilion master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion snorted coldly. Master, you need not worry about the grudges between him and me. Sect Master Shu of the Refinement Sect and a group of elders have arrived. Another team descended from the sky, their longswords returning to their sheaths. The Refinement Sect, consistently the last among the 6 major orthodox sects, but no one dared underestimate them. The reason the Refinement Sect's cultivation was at the bottom was that they devoted a lot of their energy to the art of artifact forging, crafting various spiritual artifacts and spirit treasures. Since most of the spiritual artifacts and spirit treasures of other sects came from the Refinement Sect, no one dared to look down upon them. Instead, they sought good relations with them. The Immeasurable Temple's Master Wushang and a contingent of great masters have arrived. Martial Alliance leader Master Chen and a group of elders have arrived. The two teams had arrived at Misty Peak almost simultaneously. When the Immeasurable Temple's members descended, chantings resonated powerfully. Celestial maidens scatter flowers unfolded, and Buddha's light shone for miles. Amitabha Buddha, honored patrons, long time no see. Master Wushang bore a majestic and radiant expression, his voice pouring into their ears like sweet nectar, making their spirits feel ethereal. Immeasurable Temple, ranked second among the 6 orthodox sects. Master Wushang, profound in the Buddhist law. Taiyuan, Fairy Su, Yu Xuanji, and others nodded their heads towards Master Wushang as a greeting. The people from the Martial Alliance were of a different sort, each one tall and sturdy, with robust physiques. The Martial Alliance prioritized body refinement, although their overall cultivation levels might not be high, their formidable physical constitution gave them an advantage over others of the same realm, and they could even battle across different realms with ease. Martial Alliance, ranked 3rd. The sect leader of the Martial Alliance looked at disciple Lian of Lu Changsheng with interest, seeming very taken with her martial king divine physique. Is this the descendant whom the Huang tribe warriors swore to protect with their lives? Her physique is one, rarely seen in 100,000 years. If she were to take me as her master, her future would be boundless. This young friend from Mount Shu, would you be willing to part with your disciple and let her join my ranks? I'm willing to trade a lower grade innate spirit treasure for this disciple of yours. The Martial Alliance highly valued special physiques, and Lian's martial king divine physique was perfectly suited for the path of body refinement. Therefore, the alliance leader of the Martial Alliance was willing to trade a lower grade innate spirit treasure to make a deal with Lu Changsheng. An innate spirit treasure. Sect leader Chen of the Martial Alliance is indeed offering a generous deal. I wonder if Elder Lu from Mount Shu would be willing to part with his disciple. After all, that's an innate spirit treasure. Even the treasures used by most of the elders of the Dao Palace are only acquired spirit treasures. The elders of the various sects whispered among themselves, their gazes concentrated on Lu Changsheng. Disciple, would you like to go with them? No, disciple wants to stay by master's side forever and ever. Besides, they're not as handsome as master. Ha ha ha. The other elders couldn't help but laugh upon hearing Lian's unreserved childlike words. Elder Lu of Mount Shu indeed was quite a handsome man. Ahem, the mouths of babes, please do not take offense, sect leader Chen. Lu Changsheng was somewhat embarrassed, considering sect leader Chen of the Martial Alliance was an extraordinary master who had surpassed the realm of Dao Palace and had once fought hand to hand with a flood dragon. She is our disciple from Mount Shu, sect leader Chen should look elsewhere for disciples. Taiyuan, protective of his own, supported his disciple and grand disciple even in the face of the alliance leader of the Martial Alliance himself. Ha ha, Chen, will not take to heart the words of a little girl. It's just a slight disappointment. That's all. Sect leader Chen waved his hand, showing no concern at all, as he and the numerous elders of the Martial Alliance took their seats. Sect leader Chen of the Martial Alliance, who detests evil and acts with chivalry, was a heroic figure in his youth, a grand master of his time. It's only in his older years, having spent most of his time in seclusion, that he has become as elusive as a dragon glimpsed but never caught. When he says he doesn't mind, you can truly be at ease, Zhao Wuyan remarked feelingly. It seems that the 6 orthodox sects indeed live up to the name of the righteous Dao. Lu Changsheng felt slightly relieved, his greatest fear being that the 6 orthodox sects would be engaged in endlessly scheming against each other. Now that all 6 orthodox sects have arrived, the 6 Paths Conference can officially begin. The topic of this conference is the handling of the potential calamity that may occur. Temple Master Yu has already calculated that, in over a decade, the 4 demon sects may join forces with the demon race from Huang State to attack the various sects. While the 6 orthodox sects usually compete with one another, with a great calamity imminent, we must unite as one to face our common enemy. Today we must decide which sect will lead the 6 orthodox sects to confront the 4 demon sects and the demon race from Huang State. Chapter 40. Fairy Su, how do you plan to determine the rankings of the sects? Follow the usual practice. Among the younger generation of elders, select one who has less than 800, 500, and 300 years of cultivation respectively, for a best 2 out of 3 matches. Agreed. The sect leaders of the 6 major orthodox sects consented to the Fairy Pavilion Masters' suggestion. The 6 sect leaders drew lots to decide their respective opponents. Mount Shu's opponent would be Hidden Dragon Temple, Immeasurable Temple would face Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, and Martial Alliance would go against the Refinement Sect. The luck of Martial Alliance is truly good. Those from the Refinement Sect are obsessed with refining tools, so their cultivation is inevitably lacking, consistently ranking last among the 6 major orthodox sects. Martial Alliance will surely advance. Our Mount Shu is also lucky, our opponent is only Hidden Dragon Temple, ranked 4th. Don't underestimate Hidden Dragon Temple. They are adept at strategies and Dao arrays, often turning decay into magic. Moreover, the rankings of the 6 major orthodox sects have been the same for 1,000 years now. Immeasurable Temple is ranked second, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion is in trouble. Once the results of the draw came out, many elders of Mount Shu discussed it privately. Every 6 Tao conference, the 6 major orthodox sects would be ranked anew. It had been 1500 years since the last ranking, and the strength of each sect had changed. Taiyuan, which 3 disciples do you plan to send into battle? The Fairy Pavilion Master asked in a cool tone. Changye, Wechuan, and Longevity, you 3 will represent our Mount Shu in the contest. Grand Master Taiyuan selected from among the elders of Mount Shu, Li Changye, who had 500 years of cultivation, Song Wechuan with 450, and Lu Changsheng with 250. Li Changye and Song Wechuan, these 2 Mount Shu elders, were within my predictions, but what's the deal with this Lu Changsheng? The Fairy Pavilion Master frowned slightly, not understanding why Grand Master Taiyuan would choose an elder in the first tier of the Dao Palace realm to fight. Mount Shu had elders with 300 years of cultivation who were in the second and third tiers of the Dao Palace realm. It wasn't as though there were none. Sect leader chose Lu. It has only been 5 years since Lu entered the Dao Palace realm. Isn't it a bit forced for him to represent Mount Shu in combat now? If this is the sect leader's intention, there must be a deeper meaning. It's a pity that I, Zhao Wuyan, having cultivated for 320 years at Mount Shu, fall between the ranks. If only I were 20 years younger, I could have taken Lu's place in combat. Lu, sect leader and master see potential in you, so you must perform well. The elders of Mount Shu were in an uproar, clearly finding Grand Master Taiyuan's third choice unbelievable. Li Changye, the eldest disciple, with 500 years of cultivation, Dao Palace Realm Level 9. Song Wechuan, the second eldest disciple, with 450 years of cultivation, Dao Palace Realm Level 8. Lu Changsheng, the youngest disciple, with 250 years of cultivation, Dao Palace Realm Level 1. No matter how one looked at it, Lu Changsheng appeared to be the weakest link among the Mount Shu elders with Dao age within 300 years, besides the direct disciples of Grand Master Taiyuan, there were also some disciples of the Supreme Elders. Their cultivation might not necessarily be lower than Lu Changsheng's. Yet Grand Master Taiyuan elected to have Lu Changsheng fight. Many Mount Shu elders were sweating bullets for Lu Changsheng. If the eldest and second eldest disciple failed to win, Lu Changsheng could very well become the scapegoat. Of course, if they knew that Lu Changsheng's actual cultivation was already at the 5th level of the Dao Palace realm, they would have no need to worry. Lu Changsheng. So if we, Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, face Mount Shu, he will be my opponent. Shanning Shui's gaze fell on Lu Changsheng once more, also quite surprised that Mount Shu would let Lu Changsheng fight. 5 years ago, when the 2 first met, Lu Changsheng's cultivation at the brink of life and death was the first layer of the Dao Palace realm, without any doubt. But now, Lu Changsheng's aura seemed somewhat elusive. Due to his innate Taoist body, no one present could see through Lu Changsheng's true cultivation level. Our Hidden Dragon Temple will send out elders Zhu Changming, Zhang Feng, and Lu Zunxian to fight. Temple Master Yu Xuanji of the Hidden Dragon Temple, following the rules, dispatched 3 elders. Zhu Changming, the foremost disciple of Hidden Dragon Temple, has cultivated for 700 years. His cultivation is on par with our eldest senior brother, both at the 9th layer of the Dao Palace realm, and even has more combat experience. It seems a fierce battle is inevitable. As long as our eldest senior brother and second senior brother win, Lu doesn't even need to make a move for Mount Shu to be victorious. That's right, I believe our eldest and second senior brothers can handle their opponents. Lu, you just relax. The sect leader's intention is most likely for our eldest and second senior brothers to defeat their opponents, and as for the third person, there's no need to fight, so it doesn't matter who it is. It must be so. Most of the Mount Shu elders deduced the intentions of the Taiyuan real person, believing that he had absolute confidence in the eldest and second senior brothers. In the competition among the 6 orthodox sects, victory in 3 out of 5 rounds is sufficient. If the eldest and second senior brothers win, Lu Changsheng doesn't need to fight. However, Li Changye felt not as relaxed as the many elders of Mount Shu. He knew that the sect leader selecting Lu Changsheng as the third combatant wasn't because of the absolute certainty of victory from the first 2, but because amidst all the elders of Mount Shu, Lu Changsheng with less than 300 years of cultivation, had the highest level of cultivation. Taiyuan, I have never seen this disciple of yours. I hear he is the last disciple you took on. I can't even discern his true level of cultivation. Grand Master Chen, Master Wushang, and other sect leaders started to take Mount Shu's Lu Changsheng seriously. Based on what they knew about Taiyuan real person, he wouldn't send an insignificant elder to fight. The Taiyuan real person just smiled faintly, without offering further explanation. Regardless of who your disciple is, he will not be a match for mine. Taiyuan, my disciple's talent is even above yours. The Fairy Pavilion Master of Inquiry Immortal Pavilion, with a cold expression, had full confidence in her junior disciple Shaning Shui. Shaning Shui's speed of cultivation was astonishingly fast, shocking even the Fairy Pavilion Master herself. Shaning Shui was her trump card to humiliate Mount Shu. The martial arts platform for the great event of the Six Paths was maintained by the sect leaders of the six orthodox sects. Even prodigies of the Dao Palace realm fighting within could hardly damage the platform. The three pairs of elders from Mount Shu and Hidden Dragon Temple confronted each other first. The first to fight for Mount Shu was the eldest senior brother, Li Changye, and for Hidden Dragon Temple, Zhuge Changming, the favored disciple of Yu Xuanji. Both were exceptional prodigies among the younger generation of elders in the six orthodox sects, the future pillars of their respective sects. Once the two stepped onto the martial arts platform, they immediately attracted everyone's attention. Zhuge Changming, the foremost disciple of Hidden Dragon Temple, like the Temple Master, excels in divination and strategic calculation. He once lured and killed 5 demon sect elders of the Dao Palace realm in an unknown immortal ruins, thus becoming widely renowned overnight. With eldest senior brother facing Zhuge Changming, I wonder what his chances of victory are. 10 parts. Second senior brother Song Wechuan suddenly spoke up, silencing the multitude of Mount Shu elders. Song Wechuan turned and smiled. I might lose, but in the Dao Palace realm, our eldest senior brother is invincible.